Okay, here we go. Broadcasting live, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. With your hosts, Honest Abe and Adam K. the Brewmeister. Listen to the show anywhere in the free world at KMATalkRadio.com.
I like to smoke them like some Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar.
Good morning, loyal listeners, libertarians, lovers of the leaf, everyone out there in Radio Land. Welcome to another exciting adventure here at KMA Talk Radio. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister.
It's already starting off bad.
Why?
You're stuttering already. We just started.
He's a stutterer. Leave him alone.
Well,
Sorry.
I got 3 people telling me, hey, change my volume, and I'm trying to do that while trying to figure out how to do the opening, and so, yeah, so, you know what? Screw you, Paul.
Hey, listen.
Thanks for welcoming me back.
I have to say.
I feel like I'm home.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the new studio. I do have to say, I seldom say it, but I'm actually impressed at Paul today.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
I haven't even been in the room in 5 seconds. Because very seldom in my life do I give people direction, and they actually do it without me having to say it like 18 times.
What the hell are you talking about?
That you set our guest this way.
No.
That was all Adam.
I did
All
that.
right, well then, good. You still suck.
I was away
Good
for
job.
Thank you.
a month. I
Good
didn't know we
job.
You
changed
told
this.
me that's what you wanted to do from now on, so I said, Paul, this is where he's sitting. That's what's happening.
Listen, I work with you Monday through Friday. You don't always do what I ask the first time. I'm impressed. I said a week ago, and you did it. Great. Because they normally put the guest to my right, so I'm like this the whole show,
Yeah.
instead of looking like this.
Which is why I just turned my chair. So
Right,
you could
it's a
have
lot
one up.
easier. It's a lot nicer. And I said, you know what? I don't know why we keep putting the guest to my right. It makes for a very awkward conversation. And I walk in, and there you are, sitting in that spot. It's brilliant. Thank
Well,
you.
let me tell you another thing. I mean, maybe it's just me at the age of 58, but I didn't hear you stutter once.
Well, listen. With all due respect, Paul's like overly critical. Like we've been we're building a brand new studio, right? State of the art.
Here we go.
Yeah, like Paul wants to build like a $250,000 Fox network studio. I said, dude.
Well done, Paul.
The
Yeah.
best or nothing?
What do you mean? Okay, dude. Really, we're gonna be the best in our industry, which should only take like $10,000. You know, but no. I mean, come on. Most of these guys are podcasting out of the garage. We're building
Or
a
their mom's
beautiful-
basement.
Right. We're building a beautiful, state-of-the-art, really studio. But Paul, man, he's just like over the top and everything. That sound quality's not good. Who's listening? I mean, it sounds great to me. I don't know what you're listening to.
$200,000 later. I'm like,
Yeah.
this could be perfect.
You'd rather have that. Then.
Yeah. Well,
By the way, I have a great investment opportunity for you.
Yeah, you show me the ROI, I'm all in.
listen,
No problem.
my father once told me, and I use it all the time, I'd rather tame a lion than train a monkey.
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
ROI can get you.
well, we get Alan. This is not your first time. Is this your first time
This
in the
is the
studio?
first
I know
time
you've
in
called
studio.
in a couple times.
Yeah, I've done a call-in.
Wow,
This is
we
my first
actually
time out.
got you in. What do you think of our little iHeartMedia building?
I love it, actually, because it's all gated in. I'm like, this makes sense. I'm actually doing a remote from the parking lot. And then all of a sudden, the gates opened up.
right?
And I
The
came
building
in.
shows up. Well, I'm glad you got to see this one because our last one was like a closet. It was like real.
You know, that's how I started my own business. And my cigars were in a closet.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, oddly
So,
enough, this is where we started. We started about 2 studios down. That's where we did our first KMA episode ever.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, and we did 13 episodes there before we moved. And then we came back, so we're back here now until we finish
Progress.
our new studio. As much as we talk about it in the air, I don't think anybody here knows that we're building our own studio.
Well,
Because we don't put it out on radio because we're not on terrestrial anymore.
I don't like to tell too many people because then they're like, well, then I'll come when the studio's open. I'm like, well, that could be in 6 months. We don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so a lot of guests are like, no, I'm not coming in now. So good. I'm
Really?
like, yeah, like Nick Melillo wants to wait till we build the studio.
Then just tell them we changed our mind. We're not building
Yeah.
it. Right? It's as easy as that.
And Nick is a bit of a diva. I mean, let's call him what he is. But
Is he really, though?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He
I
is
was
the
gonna-
I don't get
coolest
that
guy.
impression from him.
Not at all.
No. Nick is absolutely the coolest guy.
I think that's just a ploy because a lot of them. Because for Nick, it's tough too. Because you're at least in Florida, right? So
Right.
it's a Saturday morning drive from you.
Right.
And
But,
at
like-
least he's also in Fort Lauderdale, if I'm not mistaken.
I am.
Yes,
Yes,
I
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he's not
So
far.
you're not like you're in Miami like 99%
Okay.
of the
Listen,
guys.
Don't diminish my hour and a half drive here.
It was not an hour and a half.
Hour 15.
From
Really?
Fort Lauderdale?
I'm in West Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
Oh, so you had to go up the turnpike or?
Yeah,
What do you-
it actually took me up 95.
Wouldn't you have a Fiat? Hour and 15 minutes.
That's
Saturday
cool. No,
morning.
that's
That's
good.
cool.
I averaged 96 miles an hour on the way
No, you
here, and it
didn't.
still took me. Yeah.
Oh my God! I didn't think it was that far. That's
Yeah.
still a tough, you know.
So he
yeah.
lives further west.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
listen.
I did ask, can we do it in Lauderdale / my offices?
We could do that. We could do a remote in your office.
Well, we said
Absolutely.
maybe next time because we're
Absolutely.
not prepared to
do
do
remotes.
that
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, true.
Paul, what was the offer? Do you remember?
You said to have whiskey.
I have 400 bottles of
I've
whiskey
heard
and
about
4 million
Wait,
cigars.
hold-
Let's
wait,
go.
No, I've heard about your whiskey
hold
collection.
on.
Yeah, now this is all exciting.
Everybody
Look,
stop
Adam
the
comes to
presses.
life.
The alcoholic
Hold
is
on.
active.
What's this about 400 bottles of whiskey?
He's got a collection.
That's what we keep down low for our pull area. But we also have backstock if you need it.
Oh my
But
god!
what kind of whiskey are we talking about here?
This is going to sound
No, he
terrible.
wants
but
specifics.
everything
no, he wants
but Canadian.
specifics.
Details, please.
He doesn't believe in Canadian
You talk
whiskey.
right. Either do I, because what they put
Exactly.
in it. Yeah, it's the only
Thank
thing I won't drink. Yeah, so I mean, if you're talking about American whiskeys, I
No.
bourbon, rye.
What's your
talking
go-to?
about-
No,
whiskey.
feel like let's just start.
How excited
How
he is!
much of
He
like
woke up.
what's the most you got of one specific brand that's there?
He woke up.
That means anything? That has any real meaning to it?
yeah,
I
yeah.
would say I have 6 bottles of Glenfiddich Malt Master that they don't make anymore.
Oh,
Yeah. I
Had to
have
move your hand.
3 bottles of
okay. I'm sorry. Yeah,
3 bottles of Snow Phoenix.
Ooh,
Yeah, just stuff that.
You've just guaranteed yourself a remote,
Yeah,
without
we
a doubt,
did.
in the future.
Can I,
who's
like,
gonna get the stretcher to get Adam out of
I'm,
there?
I'm just trying to. See if I can get
37,
a-
37
Do you
wort
need me
lock.
to come work in your office from now on?
Yeah. See how that works out. Go ahead. You want to do an exchange program? I'll take one of the boys. You can take him for a month.
I'm not giving up the boys yet. We may work something out, but I'm not willing to trade them
But
yet.
how long have you been working on this collection? I have to ask.
You know, it started. Believe it or not, it started on a bit of a whim. We were doing a black tie charity event, and it was for a really good cause, something that meant a lot to me. And a whiskey collection came up, and it was way over my head. But I was with a buddy who I brought, who is he can
Was
go,
into it.
He can go deep,
Yeah.
All right.
and so. The bid went up to like $80,000 for this collection. But the truth is, we were going to split it, right? 40-40.
Right.
I was giving $20,000 to the charity either way because it
Regardless.
was that important to me.
Wow.
So I said, well, for 20, for 20 grand, I can drink whiskey too. And then he just turned and said, I only want that one bottle. You can have everything
Are
else.
you kidding?
Are
me?
you
Holy
get the hell out
no.
of here?
That's how
no.
it wasn't expected. It's how it started, and then I just started looking for stuff and just stuff that I would, what I like. But we have rules. I mean, my kids are both into it with me, and we pretty much open everything. I mean, there's some 30 and 40-year-old stuff that I just haven't opened, but everything else I want my kids to
Do
taste.
they share the passion? Are they into it?
They do. They
That's
like it
great.
a lot, and they bring me stuff. But you know what? I want them to understand that it's okay to enjoy the finer things in life. Just work your butt off to get it yourself.
I could tell that Bradley is already like a little bit of a collector.
He likes stuff.
I
yeah.
could tell because I had a meeting with him yesterday.
Oh, no, not to mention, like, the one last time we had he and Alec on the show, he brought you a box of a collectible item.
Yes.
Oh, that's
he asked
right.
Me about
I
it. He
forgot
asked me
about
about
that.
it too.
Yeah.
But also, not even that. I had a meeting with him yesterday. I guess he had gotten there early. He had went shopping in our rare and vintage room and didn't say nothing. He comes in the office with that bag. I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, I just stopped by the rare and vintage. I said, dude, why didn't you say anything? He's like, no, I found some great stuff. And then
What
gave
did he
me.
buy?
He bought.
Oh, I'd
some,
be so interested.
He bought
Yeah.
some real old Verite that we had. From many
he bought
years.
those?
Yeah, a couple,
Oh, wow.
a box of that and some other stuff. But
Okay.
and then he gifted me 2 cigars I'd never heard of. Their cigars aren't sold in the U.S. because they're made by a company, but it's made with Cuban tobacco and it's in Europe. I forgot the brand. I took a picture of it. I haven't posted it on social media, but I could just tell he's already got that collector.
By the way, if you haven't smoked that cigar,
It looked amazing. I told him I was going to smoke it yesterday, but then the
and
crap
it's
hit the
better.
fan.
It's better than it looks.
And to boot, that's my size. That's become like my go-to.
I get it.
What is
size.
it? A Lancero?
It's like a fat Corona.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a fat Corona. But that Corona or Fatland Zero Fat Corona or that's become like my size now.
Is it because of the time? Because I like to smoke Coronas because it's not going to take up too much time.
That's how I got into them.
Yeah,
right?
that's
because
why
I've
smoke
always
them.
used to been like a Toro, Churchill, Gordo smoker early on, and I started getting like to the Coronas and Petite Coronas because of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've found that I think they taste better. I think there's a more concentrated
Well, it's
flavor
funny you say that
of
because
tobacco.
a couple of guys have come in here and just like casually talking to them, they've told me that like the actual flavor that the blend was supposed to be is the Corona. Like that's usually the best blend of a cigar. Is that
think-
BS?
No, it's depending on the manufacturer. What
Okay.
happens is what you blend on, right? So when in the U.S. they were smoking 50s, which has now become 54s,
Right,
right?
yeah, more even.
So when it was 50s, we used to blend on 48s. And that way we could blend up to 50, 52, but we can go down to the 46s.
Right.
So we base it off those.
Because it
blends.
gets to a point where it's hard to get that same look. If you blend at a 50 or 52 or even a 48, if you're trying to put the same blend in a 40 or 38,
very difficult.
yeah,
Right.
it's hard.
But
It's hard.
today, 52 is a standard size. So, if someone's blending off of a 50 now, right? So they can
Right.
get to a 52 or a 54. But most people aren't blending off of 46s and then going, yeah, we're going to produce a bunch of 52.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Huh.
I just tend to find I just
I
like,
like
that.
it too.
I like it. That's been my go-to choice. And well, we've totally skipped the intro. So do we skip who we're talking?
I don't
with
even
here?
know if I
We're
introduced.
so informal.
I don't
here.
even know if I introduced you.
No,
Yeah,
we-
you didn't introduce anybody.
Paul got on the stuttering. and curveballed
Yeah.
the
By
whole-
the way, screw you, Paul.
curveballed the whole show.
Yeah.
Start over. Colin.
Colin, start over.
Good job,
No.
Colin. No,
No.
we'll be okay. Anyway, this is KMA Talk Radio. I'm Adam K, the Brewmeister, with me, of course, on a stage.
That's what you're
Paul,
watching.
the producer.
Hey.
Our special guest today, our Meet Your Maker, Mr. Alan Rubin of Alec Bradley Cigars.
Guest and old friend.
Yes,
been
absolutely.
friends for about
And apparently,
20
whiskey
years.
aficionado, which brings me back to
He's
revert
gonna
back
be
into.
stuck.
He's shaking.
He's gonna
He's
be
so
stuck.
excited. I mean, I love a bourbon myself, but I mean,
But I have to ask, as a man who has 400 whiskeys,
yeah.
what is your favorite?
Ooh.
What is your favorite whiskey?
So, first of all, this is going to be honest, but there's also something behind it. We have a corporate partnership with William Grant and Sons, which is
Oh,
Yeah.
Glenfiddich
yeah.
and the Balvenie and
Absolutely,
Hendrix
yeah.
Gin. And,
Yeah.
and
very
a lot
nice
of-
people. Yeah, great people. Also great partnership. It's
Joe
great
and Jack.
Smoke, yeah.
Yeah. So we do a lot with them. They just launched their Glenfiddich,
The 14.
the Grand Cru. No, the Grand Cru. They
Yes.
just did a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
So-
they've been
Oh,
doing
yes.
a lot of stuff recently in
Yeah.
the past year.
Yeah, because I saw Jack posted he's doing an event tonight with the Grand Crew, actually, and Alec
Correct.
Bradley Fine and Rare. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we had to do a lot to make that happen.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't have a lot of that liquid yet, and we
Oh.
didn't have a lot of the fine and rare. I had to pull
Okay.
some old inventory,
Okay.
but we like Jack, so we found a way. No,
You do?
For those of you not understanding, that's
We're
Jack,
one of
who
four.
is the Western representative for Alec Bradley Cigars.
Formerly of Cigar Dojo.
That's right.
Formerly of Cigar
Yeah.
Dojo, yes.
He still pops in once in a while, I
Yeah.
think.
But I think my favorite as a go-to, if I had to drink one whiskey for the rest, you get stuck with one for the rest of your life.
Right.
I feel probably Glenfiddich 15 would be my go-to. If I had unlimited supply, it would be that Malt Master that I mentioned. I think that's
that is a
the
good
finest
liquid,
juice they've ever put in a bottle.
Have we ever had
Really?
that?
We've never had it here. It is in the Boynton Beach location, if you would like.
Oh, you have it?
We have
Malt,
it.
you have Malt Master?
I believe so, yes.
Well, since he was doing liquor ordering as of a couple weeks ago, he may not actually be
Yeah.
accurate.
We did also do. That's why we also got that Glenfiddich plaque that is now hanging above
Ah.
the door on the
Want to go
shelf
for a
there.
drink?
Yeah, you want to stop the show?
Yeah, right.
We can take a drive.
We can have a runner. We can see a runner.
That
Hey,
is true.
A nutter. It's a good thing he can't hear us.
I have never had that. I have heard about it before, but I've never had it.
You're at my bar once a week.
I am at your bar quite a bit.
Once a week.
And it's at Boynton, which is funny. You guys do have a great selection at the Boynton store, especially. Like, there's a
I
really
think
good
there's a
selection of
at
bourbons
both
and whiskey.
Stores. Well, it's different clientele.
Yeah,
You know,
West
you
Palm
gotta-
is a little bit
You got to
different.
cater to the clientele
Of course,
area.
of course.
Yeah. I mean,
Of course.
I think Del Rey even has higher.
I have never been
Oh
to
yeah, no,
Del
they,
Rey.
No,
Yeah,
they,
Del Rey's got even more serious liquor.
I'm
oh
afraid
no,
of Vinny.
they do.
Yeah, I know.
They
Uh,
do.
Vinny, I'm afraid of Vinny. So I haven't gone to Delray.
What are you afraid of Vinny for?
He's just,
Vinny could be the one person more pathetic than you are, though, I know.
Why, because he needs attention?
Yeah, Vinny's Vinny. Everybody, listen.
I love him. I'm joking.
Vinny's
He's
one
a
of
good
those
guy.
guys that everybody loves. But
Yeah, he's a good guy.
he's just pathetic.
We know so many of the same people. It's weird because
You and
he's
Vinny?
from Long Island. Yeah.
Oh,
and
Vinny knows
so
everybody.
I know.
Everybody.
I-
Everybody knows Vinny.
We'll be talking about this and that and how I did this. He goes, "Oh yeah, I know him. I know him from back
Now,
in the
Vinny's
day."
one of the
blah, blah,
nicest
blah.
guys ever. So,
And we've completely gotten off topic.
Yes, we have. But that's what we do
Well,
here
we
at
just
KMA Radio.
this is the opening to the show. We haven't even introduced our Meet Your Maker yet.
Usually I don't even do
Official.
that
Well, we
till
haven't
after
started
the
the
bottom.
segment yet. We've introduced him.
I don't even go to the bottom of the hour for that. This
Yes.
is just, regular banter. For
How was
things like
Halloween? Did you dress up?
No, I was actually out of town.
Okay.
I was
'cause
supposed to-
There's no more kids for Halloween for you.
No.
No.
this. There's
No,
no
if-
grandkids yet, so you're not like you're trying to spoil it.
Yeah,
Not yet.
if I dress up, someone's calling the cops.
Not yet. Not yet.
I dressed up.
Well, we saw. We all saw you dress
And that
up.
makes perfect sense now that we're talking. It does.
Do we need to bring that up now?
I'm probably going to have to dress up next Friday.
Why next Friday? Oh no.
Dude, Steve Saka's getting serious. Did you see he bought silicone implants?
Yeah.
Sakalicious.
He's
way.
getting, like, serious. Now it's becoming a competition of whoever's going to be in
Who's
drag.
gonna be the hottest?
gonna look
Right.
best?
Yeah, you're going to look rock and,
I will say this.
All I know is Nimish has been unusually quiet.
Yes,
Like,
I agree with that.
During...
He's not
listen,
even posting on Facebook.
Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you, Steve Saka is brilliant, right? He actually outsmarted me on this one, which doesn't happen often. But I'm gonna say it outright. I don't believe he made his first goal weight, right? Nimish and I posted videos of the scale and us getting on the scale and before and after shots. Steve posts a picture of an app, a screenshot of an app showing his progress and saying, "Oh, I made my goal."
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, that's all he did. I saw pictures of the trade show. It didn't look like he lost the
Well,
amount of
and
weight.
we had people telling us that he was eating like steaks
But
and
it's okay.
potatoes.
So
and-
instead of confronting the situation, what does he do? He goes, "Hey, let's double down. We'll do an event. We'll double down, and we'll make sure that one of us." I'm like, "Oh yeah, great." Knowing that time in life would wear me down, right? I mean, just
Time in life.
yeah, just wore the fuck out of me.
I will.
And now like I'm shopping for shoes and crap because I think there's a probability I may have to get dressed next Friday.
Oh my! Are you gonna wear like a heel? You're gonna do it right,
okay,
right?
First off, let me just tell you something. All
I
right.
don't think they make heels in his foot
I
size.
bought a pair of shoes. Okay, I found the largest pair of women's shoes made in the universe. It's a 17D wide. Okay?
Louboutins.
No, yeah, right. Now, I did find a company. I did find a company in Europe that would send you for trannies that would send you a cast and they would bespoke whatever shoe you wanted.
Oh, what was that? Like 12
I
grand.
didn't even look. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that for one night. Get out of here, right? So I found this 17. Now, in men's sizes that convert to women's, I should be like a 19.
Oh my
right?
God.
So
Amazon.
I found them and I was trying to find flats. No luck, right? So I got these 4-inch heels. Right?
No, wait.
Hold
Please
on.
tell me you're joking.
Let me tell you something. I got a bad sciatica, so it's a good thing I haven't felt like my big toe and my second toe for like the last 5-6 years, because there's no way my feet are going to handle this thing. If I put these things on, it's going to be like for the first 10 minutes for a photo opportunity, and then I'm taking them
No,
off.
you gotta keep them on, man.
It's impossible. I'm squeezing a size 19 foot in a 17 shoe.
Listen, you'll be all right.
Yeah, okay.
Don't you think you should be sending out some recon to find out what
Nimish is
what
doing?
Nimish is doing?
Well, let me tell you something. During the first round, he would call me once a week. How you doing? How's everything going? I would hear from him literally once every week or two. Just checking in. Hey, I'm doing this. And Nimish, always honest. I didn't do crap this month. I'm giving up drinking for the next 6 years.
Right, he showed
was
himself
straight up
drinking
honest.
out.
He
I
never-
have a video on my phone from March that says he was going to give up drinking for the entire month of April and May.
I'm telling you, he was never like lying about it. I didn't do crap, but I'm going to hit these next 2 months and whatever. And I haven't heard nothing from him in 2 months. Like, not a peep, not a sound, not a reaction to a post, not a comment to a post. So maybe in the realm of the universe, this guy might end up losing. I don't know, if he's gone on a drinking bender or what, but who knows?
I
But
think
either way, it's going to be interesting
he
next
just signed
Friday.
up for his third treatment of cold sculpting. So I think
I don't know.
I think you're in trouble.
It's going to be interesting next Friday, either way.
So
or not.
anyway, all of the interested in seeing what's going to happen, please show up at 7 o'clock at the Cassidy Monte Cristo
yeah.
in Boynton Beach,
It's
Florida.
Boynton? Okay.
Yeah, Boynton, we're officially going to show up at 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m.
But people should start getting there. At
They
7.
should start getting there at 7 p.m.
There's gonna be a
Cassidy
reveal.
Monte Cristo.
There's going to be a limo pulling up. The three of us will be inside, and at 8 p.m., one of us will Walk out and drag.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man,
Yes.
I guess I
And,
have to go.
And if for all of you interested, there'll be plenty of great Dunbarton tobacco
And
trust
Rocky Patel product.
and Rocky Patel.
Oh,
products
yeah.
And you know
available
what? You know
for
what made this worse is because I was pretty sure I wasn't going to lose this bet when this whole thing originated, right? I have it set up for green screen photography so everyone can take home a commemorative photo, right? So not only is somebody going to be in drag, but this is going to last like forever. Forever, so.
Is there a theme song to this whole event?
I have
It's
no
raining.
idea.
It's raining men.
Right? Yeah.
I knew Adam was going there, but
It's going to be.
I was gonna go there. Thank you, Alan, for giving me.
It's really funny because I'm watching social media and like all the West Palm, they're coming like in a mega group. Like me, the thought of possibly seeing me in drag is like the most exciting thing.
I agree. Yeah.
I can't understand why. There's nobody I really would care to see in drag. Nobody would.
It's the
excite
sheer
me.
irony of it.
I
that-
fear
that-
I'm going to vomit from the sight of any three of you
Well,
in drag.
this is my goal, and especially now because Steve Sock has really upped the game on this. But this is my goal: is if I have to dress in drag, I'm gonna come looking good.
Are you gonna? So you'll shave and all that? Yeah.
Listen, first off, my wife is doing me, and she's a cosmetologist, hair colorist, stylist,
Right.
and whatever. So yeah, I'm coming looking good. That's all.
We'll be the judge of that. There you go, Colin.
There you go.
so let me ask you a question on this. I mean, then you can go where you want with this, but is this all about playing fair amongst the three of you?
What do you mean by playing fair?
Oh, because I'd be sending gift packages
You
to
didn't
everyone's
hear?
home.
Oh, he's
During the first round, Saka was doing an event somewhere in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, and he's got like a donut fetish. I had 24 donuts delivered.
Yeah, I'd have that delivered every day to his house.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he bounces around a lot, so finding him is not tracking him down.
Not
is not always-
relevant. He'll keep it for when he gets home. I mean, I'd be sending 2 boxes a day.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little disappointed in my past few months' performance, man. It was just clearly like the worst time.
part of it was my fault because Abe wanted me to go to the gym with
I
him.
started.
because
I started going
know.
that week.
And I kind of avoided him a little bit.
You
'cause
did, you little
He
wussy.
wants me to box, and I've never boxed.
I
and,
started these boxing classes. I love it because not only you don't feel it, and it's like 7 3-minute rounds, so it's 21 minutes of hard work.
Right. You
And
feel it in your shoulders.
let me tell you something. There are muscles in my shoulders and my back I never knew I had. I mean, seriously,
I
muscles
know.
I never knew I had because
I
you're
know.
doing. I'm not a boxer, right?
Yeah.
So I did it and I enjoyed it. And you know what? You feel a little cathartic when you're done. Like, man, I just.
Yeah.
Listen,
2 days later, you can't shut your car door or wash your
I
hands.
couldn't put shampoo on my head. Literally, it's like my hand won't get past my chin.
I'm aware.
No, it was real. But I actually,
You're throwing the shampoo on like
literally,
that.
I actually enjoyed the
Good
class.
thing I don't need shampoo.
I told Paul you should come do it with me at 6 in the morning or whatever, and he wussed out. He wouldn't do it.
I may come and try a class and see.
Just, I'm telling
See
you,
what
come
it's
to
like.
one. I'm telling you, you'll
That's
enjoy
fantastic.
I didn't. Adam, you gonna go too?
It's way too early.
So
for
I
me to
felt
go.
bad though because I did realize that you were making an effort for yourself and you wanted some help and motivating, and then I was.
listen, that's always partially part of the equation, right? But you also sat here saying this is the fattest you've ever been that week, and you sit here and you unbutton your pants during the radio show. Are your pants unbuttoned
Every
right
week.
now, Paul?
Yes.
See?
But
Oh!
wait, hold on. So
They were buttoned last night. What happened to this morning?
I had
It's 2 hours.
I have lost 9 pounds because
That's
I'm
a good
doing
shit.
intermittent fasting.
9 pounds is a good shit.
Not to me. I'm like 5'7".
Are
I'm
you that
small. I'm a
tall?
small man.
Are you
Yes,
really
it says
5'7"?
it on my license.
With or without shoes on?
That's
do I need to get the tape measure?
No.
no,
He doesn't
please,
want
God,
you to
don't
tape
do
measure.
that.
That's funny.
But yeah, so
So what 8 hours are you eating?
what I do is no, I don't eat for 8 hours. I kind of do the same one that Nick
intermittent-
Perdomo said he
that's-
does.
Yeah, he does.
No, he does 4 hours. So
What?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't eat for 16 hours. He's an 8-hour window, which he's.
Oh,
allowed
I
to
do a
eat.
4-hour window, which I eat. So I eat usually from 5 to 9. I can eat, and then
You only do a 4-hour of food a day.
yeah, because I won't be able to eat 2,000 calories in that period of time. When you don't eat all day, and then all of a sudden you start to load up on food, you get full quickly, and then you don't really want it. But sometimes I want to drink after that.
Why don't we talk to the healthiest guy in the room right
He is
now?
the healthiest
Adam.
guy in the room.
No,
Yeah.
I mean you just said what? You're 57,
58. Yeah.
58, and look at you. You look amazing.
He looks better than
What-
me.
But I
what
have
is
a question.
Yeah.
You can't eat 2,000 calories in 4 hours.
I mean, I guess
Dude.
I could.
I picked 2,000 calories out of my teeth with
That's
a
what I'm
toothpick.
saying, right?
I mean,
that's-
what are
you
kidding me?
could, but the idea is that your insulin and whatever something builds up where you
I
get
can-
full quicker.
I can eat 2,000 calories standing up before I go sit down to eat.
Amen. Seriously.
Absolutely.
I'm not kidding. I can pick 2,000
Yeah,
calories out of my teeth.
It works though. So I just drink black coffee and water all day at work. And at work it's easier because I'm doing something all day. I have a stand-up desk too, so
What
I
time
go
do you
up
go to
and
bed?
down. It really depends. When usually about 11:30, 12.
So from 9 to 12.
Maybe a little bit earlier than that.
That would be my downtime, right? That's my.
That'd be my hard time.
Yeah,
not
same
to
here.
put anything in my mouth.
What time do you go to sleep?
Yeah, he
I
goes
went
to sleep
bed
at like
about
4
3 in
a.m.
the morning last night.
Yeah.
2:33. Between 2 and 3 in the morning.
So
usually
I'm between 3 and 4.
Yeah, but what
Are
time
you
do
3
you?
or 4?
Yeah.
And what time do you wake up?
Yeah, exactly. That's-
First time 7:30, and then.
Dude, see, this is
he's
how
just
I
like you.
live. Nobody
Yeah.
gets it.
What?
Yeah.
And I'm never sleepy.
No.
I'm just programmed that
Well,
way.
this is iced coffee.
I mean, I
I'm on
drink
it all
coffee. I
day.
drink a lot of
Yeah.
coffee. But I'm never really sleepy.
No.
And in fact, if I ever get an 8 hours sleep, I'm wrecked all day. I'm yawning. I'm tired. I'm wrecked all day.
8 hours in one night?
Yeah.
No.
Right?
That's-
Look, if you ever had a long sleep,
No.
I get wrecked.
I think entrepreneurs have a difficult time trying to put 8 hours together in 3 days.
Yeah. But I function very, very well. I mean, listen, I usually go to bed. Look, first off, I
You
don't,
fall asleep places too, though. I've seen you sleeping at the barber shop. Like I've walked in at like
dude,
5:30,
who
6
doesn't
o'clock.
sleep in a barber shop? What the frick are you
People
talking
sleep
about?
in a barber shop? What?
Yeah, if you get a nice warm shave, you're lying back, you got your eyes closed. It's a very relaxing moment. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sounds good to me.
Get out of here.
Especially if you're smoking.
I wish.
This guy also in a barbershop smoking.
So you fall asleep with a cigar in your hand?
No,
No.
in my mouth. Why in my hand?
Wow.
Remember, you're getting a shave, so they just wrap the hot towel around the cigar.
And you have this. Oh, I've never
See,
seen or
you're
heard
still-
of.
you're
That'd
still
be
small
cool.
time, Paul.
That's actually a
You're
good
still
idea.
small time.
Well,
But
listen,
yeah,
man.
I go to bed. I'll go to bed anywhere. If I'm going to if I'm getting up at 5:30 to go to the gym, I'll try to be in bed before 1 o'clock, just because
Yeah.
I want to get up and go and whatever. But I'll usually be in bed anywhere between 1:30 and 3:30 in the morning on the regular, and I'm usually up at 6 o'clock with my kids, 6:30.
Yeah.
If I made them lunch the night before, because I like to help them with their lunches, then I may get till 7, till one of them's got to go to school and wants to kiss me good morning and say goodbye. But
Yeah.
I'm perfectly good at functioning.
I mean, if I'm making my kids lunch now, there's a problem.
yeah, well,
Well, that's my thing though. I wake up early with the baby because that's usually when I see him. So I wake up like 5:30, 6 o'clock, sit with him until like 7:20, jump in the shower, go to work.
Well, I
But
wanna
I
know-
work I'm not my own boss.
I
Like,
want to know
have
what your
hours.
routine is, because you look like you're in very, very good health.
Honestly, I haven't worked out since June because I hurt my back. So
Blasphemous.
No,
June?
no,
I got decades on you, man.
Yeah,
No,
seriously.
I've been having some back issues. So I remember I worked out on a Tuesday and Wednesday my back locked up, and I've been epidurals and things I've
Oh,
had
man.
to do. So I'm just I'm sticking close to keto right now.
So you're eating well.
Yeah, I mean the intermittent fasting is a little bit tough for me. I do the opposite. I'll not eat for 4 hours and eat for the other 20.
Well, I do a form of intermittent fasting, but it really doesn't work because I
Yeah,
can-
you don't eat all day.
Once I
sometimes.
get started,
Yeah.
I can go all day. Unless somebody comes to my office and say, hey, we're grabbing lunch. Do you want something or whatever? I'll go all day, and then I'll get home 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, have dinner with the kids, and then I'll graze.
Yeah.
Like, constantly until I go to bed. Like, I'll
So what are
literally-
you grazing on though?
Whatever.
No.
Okay, so last night, before I went to bed, I pulled out a spinach tortilla wrap, threw some turkey, American cheese. I had some
I'm starving right now.
power green peppers, shredded carrots, and craisins, and a little light French dressing. Rolled it up, and had a little burrito.
So you could do all that if you got rid of just the wrap
I know.
and changed to blue cheese dressing. You're basically on keto.
I know.
Blue cheese dressing, is that the thing? How is it that Alan looks like that and Juan Cancel looks the way he does, and they're both on keto?
Juan Cancel is on some imaginary keto. My favorite picture of Juan Cancel is one of those time-lapse photos where it says, just a year ago, and they were in some place in Vegas where they weighed themselves.
Yeah, I
And
saw
it was
that.
him and Bill Ives, and it was like a before and after, and Bill looks like half the guy he was a year ago,
And
and Juan's all happy, and he looks like exactly the same size. Like, literally. He looks exactly the same size. Like, look at me, dude.
And you could drink whiskey on keto.
How
I'm not
much,
a-
though? You got to
I'm-
be limited,
I'm
I'm
not
assuming.
a big liquor drinker. Because I'm a good drunk. So
Oh, no.
I'm not a good drunk?
Nope.
Why not?
Don't do shots.
Oh, wait. I have a bad effect on other people who are trying to keep up drinking with me.
Yep.
But I'm a happy
That's great.
party time.
Yeah.
Like when I get drunk, the whole party is getting better,
I'm
right?
No.
But it's a job. Getting
Yeah.
drunk for me is like a job, right?
Oh, so it takes a lot to get you past that point.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's not a small man.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, I can't sit here and sip cocktails and get to that point. Like I put the bottle down, put a couple shot glasses, and it's just like literally like,
Yeah.
let's pour.
You had a couple drinks last night. I was surprised, actually.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it would take me like hours at that rate to get to that
Yep.
happy drunk state.
Meanwhile, I had one drink and I was sweating. I was
Slurring.
like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
feel
having-
good.
He was having hot flashes. Literally, we had to put the fan on him.
He was in menopause.
Yeah, so I was just away, and I was up in the Northeast. I was staying at a hotel. They had a pretty cool hotel bar with a nice selection, and
Love
I
it.
ended up talking to the bartender because I know a little about whiskey, and we were
I would hope so.
talking, and then he said, I have these barrel aged old fashions that we're doing here. Like, try this.
I love
Next
that.
thing I know, he's making me all these custom craft cocktails. And at one point, I had to text something to my office, and I said, I don't know if my room is 515, 1505, or that could be my flight number.
But that's a great time, man. I'm historically. It doesn't happen. It's like once a year. If you're lucky, it'll happen. But I'm historically a
But
great.
that's good balance. Like, go until you can't go anymore, and then don't do it again for a year.
I mean, that's what.
good
Because
balance.
it's just. I enjoy being that way, and I've become very loving and very happy. And,
Yeah.
and you cannot be around me, and I sense you're not happy. You're going to end up being happy because I got to make you happy, right? Because
I
it's my
like it.
job, right? But it's just a lot of work, so it doesn't happen that often.
Can I ask you a question, Alan?
Sure.
So when you go to the bartender and you sit there and he starts making you custom craft cocktails, do you tell him what company you own? I mean, because even before I got into this part of the business, I knew Alec Bradley Cigars. So does a guy like that? Do you tell him
No.
about the brand? So you don't. You just say, what do you tell him you do?
If he asks, I don't just offer it up.
And
But
see, we're from the same school. I
Right.
never give
Yeah.
information out.
I mean, but the guy said to me, because I there was one whiskey I hadn't heard of before.
Mhm.
So I asked him about it, and he goes, "Hey, let me pour you some." So immediately the guy's going to get a giant tip because he did something for me
Right.
that he
Right.
didn't have to do. And then I said, "So what do you have in the barrel?" And that's what got started. And then he started making me all these custom craft cocktails and then writing it down
That's awesome.
for me. Like,
That's
hey, if
awesome.
you want to try
Oh,
it. And
that's cool.
The guy went,
But
wait.
then at that point, now that you've bonded, you tell him everything.
So
Yeah, I'm Alan Rubin.
no,
Right?
Then he says to me, like, you seem to know something about whiskey. What do you do? And I said, well, my company we have a partnership with William Grant, Hendricks and Milagro Tequila that you all have in the bar. He said, what do you do? I said, I manufacture cigars.
Yeah, see, I'm the same
And it
way.
ended
And-
there. He didn't ask what cigar
that-
brand.
well, then he said, I don't smoke often, but I love cigars. And I'm like, okay, give me your contact info. And then
Yeah.
we just went from there. And then at the end, he was hugging me. And
That's awesome.
You
I'm
know,
the same way. When I meet people,
Did you
it's
send
like,
him a package?
of course.
well, I can't do it myself because for legal
Right.
reasons.
Yes.
But
he
they'll-
arranged for it.
Yeah, I arranged for him to be able to go in and make a purchase and get some, some things. Yeah.
A quid pro quo, per se.
But like, yeah,
We're
when
gonna bring that up now. Okay.
When-
I knew as soon as I said it that was going to come back to
no,
haunt
but
me.
when I meet people out there, I was like, "Where are you from? Florida? What part? Southeast? Oh, what area? Palm Beach County." I'm never quick to give it up.
I like it.
There's
Yeah.
no reason to. I teach my kids never give it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because if I like that same scene. Like when I go away for work, which isn't that often, but when I go away, I like to sit at the hotel bar and just meet people and just talk to people. So, but you meet a lot of like I mean, you'll meet a guy like you at a bar. Like I would assume that the bartender's like, holy crap, like that's a
But-
big deal for him.
But you have stalker syndrome.
No,
Yes.
I really
Oh,
don't.
Yes,
You do.
you
You have
do.
stalker. Like you be the guy.
You do.
You be the
But
guy in
also-
the bar. I wouldn't say crap to.
Well, because I want to know everything about
Exactly,
everybody.
and
It's
you
not
don't know
necessarily
boundaries.
about like.
Oh, really?
It doesn't
What
have to be a
time do you get up-
celebrity.
What time do you get up and go to work? Do you have cereal for breakfast or do you make oatmeal? These are the kind of questions like you'd be asking a stranger, man. And be like,
You're
Yeah, 'cause I like
a
to-
weirdo.
Weird.
It's maybe it's slightly reality TV-ish. I like to know what people do. Like I'm fast. What did you have for breakfast this morning, Adam?
and he really wants to know.
Water. I
He
had
really
a
wants to
glass
know.
of
Yeah.
water.
Gotcha.
Let's take a break and start our Media Maker
Exactly.
segment.
I was
Let's
going to
roll
be.
on some
So
cigars
anyway,
and
let's
stuff.
we're gonna take a break. More here on KMA Talk Radio. Keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Experience the new Henry Clay Warhawk and complex cigar that's inspired by the rebellious roots of Henry Clay. The first of a 3-part series honoring the life of the great statesman, this cigar is made with the best tobaccos grown and hand-rolled by the Grupo de Maestros at La Flor de Copen in Honduras. And it's not your typical Connecticut. This is a Henry Clay. Stand up, be different, and smoke a Warhawk. Surgeon General warning, cigar smoking can cause cancer to the mouth and throat even if you do not inhale.
Hello, this is Glenn Case, owner of Christoph Cigars. Smoking a cigar is all part of the experience. For me, there's nothing better than gathering with friends after an amazing steak dinner and smoking my GC Signature Series paired with a fine glass of scotch. Good conversation and a few laughs is always better when smoking Christoph. Start enriching your downtime. Go to Christoph.com and click on the Discover Your Christoph tab to find the Christoph cigars that are right for you. Upgrade your downtime with Christoph.
The Oliva family, the makers of some of the most affordable yet highest rated premium cigars available. For 7 straight years, Cigar Aficionado has rated Oliva as one of the best cigars of the year. And Oliva has a cigar for all smokers, from the newly released Gilberto Oliva Reserva to the bold and rich Oliva Serie V. Oliva cigars can be found at a tobacconist near you, so always ask for Oliva, an unbeatable value and uncompromising quality. The Oliva family of cigars.
The recently released Perdomo Double-Aged 12-Year Vintage is an extremely rare blend of Perdomo's finest and most cherished 12-year-old fillers, binders, and wrappers. Bale-aged for 10 years and then barrel-aged in bourbon barrels for an additional 2 years, these exquisite Nicaraguan tobaccos are bursting with rich, complex flavors. Offered in Connecticut, sun-grown, or Maduro, available at only 250 authorized tobacconists worldwide, the Perdomo Double-Aged 12-Year Vintage is a must-have for every cigar enthusiast.
Hey, this is Clay from La Polina Cigar Company. My likes and dislikes: long walks in the park, old school gangster films, wrestling grizzly bears with Abe. Dislikes: smelly feet, flight attendants with an attitude, and Friday afternoon traffic. What I know you will like is the La Polina family of fine cigars, such as Mr. Sam, Bronze Label, and our highly rated Classic Series. But let's not forget the limited edition Goldie. Quality forever. La Polina Cigars.
Plasencia Cigars has been one of the world's leading growers of first-class tobacco since 1865. Today, Nestor Plasencia Sr., together with the 5th generation of the Plasencia family, continue the legacy. With over 3,000 acres of quality tobacco fields, they are makers of quality cigars, including Alma Fuerte, ranked among the top 10 cigars in major publications. Find them in your local premium tobacconist stores around the country. Plasencia Cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
Looking for something unique and awesome? Smoke Oscar Valderas cigars. 2012 Connecticut, 2012 Corojo, 2012 Maduro, the Oscar Habano, the Oscar Maduro, My Way, and our latest creation, Oscar Valderas Cicerone Edition. A great cigar that comes in 5 different collectible boxes with an amazing exclusive artwork. Remember, Oscar has something unique and awesome waiting for you. Ask for Oscar Cigars in your favorite cigar shop.
Keep the party going all week long at the world-famous Spearmint Rhino, West Palm Beach. Every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, enjoy $3 premium drinks from the bar till midnight. Magnum Mondays means $100 magnums of Belvedere and Moët Brut until midnight. Get your thrills every $10 Tuesday with $10 dances all day and night. Ladies, don't miss Women Crush Wednesdays with half off your cover charge. No matter the time of day, it's always a good time at Spearmint Rhino, West Palm Beach.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. We are here broadcasting live on this, the second day of the month of November in the year 2019. With me as always, Mr. Honest Abe.
I want to address something real quick before we break in the media maker, because Paul has...
What?
You're complaining about Christmas music in the opening notes?
Yes.
No, I'm not complaining. Other people are.
I am. I will happily.
But
I was playing it in my office
I will
yesterday.
happily complain about it.
I don't know if it was you, or I think maybe it was Coop, made a post about some place already having Christmas
Yeah,
decorations. Okay.
Coop did.
So my staff came out, and you're one of the guys that
I know. I will
volunteer.
happily admit to this.
So here's the problem, and this is what people don't realize, especially in retail, right? Mm-hmm. Most retail companies like myself, I'm not going to go out, buy decorations, store them, put them up every year. I have a company that comes out.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, these companies
have to do everybody.
Probably got hundreds of accounts that they got to get done in a 30-day window.
Yep.
So when you see Christmas decorations up in the beginning of November, because everybody's decorations got to be up after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So they can't start the day before Thanksgiving and get 500 accounts done, right? They got to start November 1st. Because some people in my company were thinking, well, the people will be there tomorrow. I'm like, what? No. Well, I said, you know what? I'm trying to do you all a favor. You guys just now volunteered. You could decorate your own stores. and I'll shut up after that.
I volunteered and said, absolutely, we'll do it on November 31st.
Yeah, all 5 locations?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
November 31st. Mark it down.
Yeah.
30 days has November, April, June. There's no November 31st.
Whatever.
I love it. Listen, man, I had Christmas music playing. I usually have Disney theme park audio all day at my desk.
You can cut Paul now. Let's start.
Anyway, it's time for our favorite part of the show.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
This week, KMA Talk Radio is pleased to finally welcome into the studio Mr. Alan Rubin of Alec Bradley Cigars. Named after his sons Alec and Bradley, Alan Rubin started his company at the tail end of the cigar boom of the 90s after his original business partner left in 1999. He connected with and hired Ralph Montero, and that's when things started to change. Alan, welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. Thank you for actually being here in studio.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
First time ever.
Yeah, this is a cool location. I know you're moving to something bigger, better in your own. But
it is bigger and better. You want to know what? It's going to be even closer to you.
Thank God. That's all I really care about.
Listen,
to be honest.
Listen, 2 good things. One is going to be in Pompano Beach, which is closer to where most
off the power line.
Yeah,
over there.
It's going to be second floor. We're doing the whole second floor.
Sweet.
Which is closer to where everybody comes to us, and it's going to be on Wednesday nights, so it won't tie up people's mornings on a Saturday. And then we'll rebroadcast. We'll do it live Wednesday nights, and then rebroadcast on Saturday mornings.
And more importantly, a full bar.
Full
will
bar
be there as well.
Wow. Full open bar, and we do have a whiskey sponsor. It'll be a whiskey-sponsored bar.
Oh,
it's already done?
Well, we have the company that we're working with. They're just not sure which brand in the portfolio they're going to brand the bar with.
Oh.
He can't reveal anything else.
Not yet. It's not finalized.
Well, I mean, if I have to, I can bring a flask. But
yeah, well.
I'm sure you can bring a bottle from your 400-bottle collection, which you talked about earlier.
Yes.
Brilliant!
Yeah. The other thing is, right down the block from your location there, a lot of my buddies live, which is in Boca Grove, which is right off power line, just north.
Oh.
Right. So it'd be great because I could.
Well, then you'll love this aspect.
If I get invited back.
Well, yes, you will. But the aspect we're going to love about is that show, when we start doing it there, will always be done in front of a live audience. We have 9 high-back leather chairs that we have that are part of the audience, so it will always be done in front of a live audience. Yeah.
We might know somebody that could get you a couple of tickets.
Yeah, well, you might have a connection to get some of your friends in. You have a couple tickets for the show.
I will. I'll do my best.
I'm expecting those to be like the hottest tickets every week. People want to get in because we only have 9 seats, so that's that.
So I have a random question after we've gone through this first half hour.
It's not going to be about whiskey again, is it?
No, it is not.
Okay.
I am getting off the whiskey.
Start talking some cigars.
Yes. What I was actually going to ask is, what do you like to do in your leisure time? What does Alan Rubin do when he has time away from the cigar business?
Whiskey?
First of all, even cigars are part of my leisure time, right?
Okay.
Because it's still
Obviously.
my hobby. It's
Right.
still my hobby. Not just what I do for a living, but I love playing golf now. Not very
are you
good
a
at it.
golfer?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
but
I wouldn't have guessed, actually.
Yeah.
Is that a new hobby or?
No, I mean I've been playing for a long time.
Really?
But more recently, now that I put my 2 kids to work, I'm getting a little more time on the golf course. But
nothing like child labor.
yeah, I mean, I tried when they were 6 and 7, but my wife wouldn't allow it to happen. But
Makes little sense.
which we refer to as their mother now
Their
because of
mother.
that. No, but yeah, I enjoy golf and honestly spending some time with my wife because I traveled a lot during my career.
Do you travel out now?
A lot less.
I mean, not business travel. Do you travel you go on trips with?
Yeah.
Nick Perdomo's all over the world. Like I see him on Facebook, man. He's every other week somewhere. I mean, it's good for him. I mean, look, we work hard. We should enjoy the fruits of our labor. I'm all for that, right? I mean, what's the point if we slave away and we sit in an office or a business all day and you really never get to enjoy it, which is a thing that I struggled with my father for the longest time because of that old school generation, right?
Right.
Their whole thing was, happiness is found through misery, right? The path to happiness is misery, right? So they didn't know how to enjoy anything, and it really wasn't until my dad had a thank God it wasn't life-threatening, but it freaked him out. He had a tumor in his kidney that he had taken out and lost a little bit of his kidney. But man, his perspective changed. My dad's somewhere every 3 months. I mean, he's been all over the world, and he woke up, right? And he just realized, hey man, well, I don't know what I've been working all these years for. It's one of the reasons why I moved to Florida. I was partners with my dad. It's hard to be partners with my dad. The guy wouldn't take a day off. Like, he's sitting on milk crates straightening cans of corn. I'm like, go home. He's like, go home and do what? What am I going to do when I go home? Whatever. It was just too difficult to work with him, and he didn't really loosen up. So, I mean, are you at that stage where are you loosening up? Are you getting out, enjoying the fruits of the work?
I grew up very much like you did. I mean, I worked since I was 12, really, with my dad in the summers when
and your dad was in the hardware import business?
Well, at that point, he was in the cabinet. He did custom cabinetry.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so, I was making the drawers, for them. I was putting drawers together for him when I was 12 and 13, and then, went and worked. I worked at a Carvel. I worked at a sporting goods store.
I did everything.
I was growing up.
I worked at Papa John's.
There,
before Papa John's was national.
Yeah, but I worked alongside my dad for 35 years. He passed recently, but every day for 35 years. And it was that same mentality of getting in at 6:30 in the morning, bringing work home at night if you needed to.
Are you breaking that barrier in your personal life?
Yeah, I'm
not as much as you'd like to.
Love to just come out and say yes, but I'm trying. And now with the kids in the business, I'm spending a little less time there. Not much, but a little less time there because I feel like they need to learn it. And,
they do.
And I can't just be over their shoulder all day.
Good.
But in my off time...
Don't wait for a tumor.
No.
I'm
with you.
Yeah, don't wait for the tumor.
First of all, I have a little place out in Colorado, so I enjoy going out to Colorado.
Are you a skier?
I'm a skier, yeah.
Nice.
And I play golf out there as well, but I just get healthy out there. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I walk 3.5 miles into town.
Eat some edibles for breakfast?
I was just going to say.
That was my question, too.
To be honest, if I'm trying to get healthy, that doesn't lead to good eating.
Get your mind right.
Yeah, but I'll walk 3.5 miles and have a cup of coffee and do my emails and walk back.
Are you acclimated to the air there?
Yeah. No,
Was it hard the first few times?
Yeah, walking up the stairs took me 20 minutes to recover.
Wow.
Yeah, but I've been doing it for years. But I enjoy being out there, and it's a whole different mindset. It's I don't know. The air is clean and the people are nice.
Do you go alone, or does your wife go with you? Or
both.
Okay.
Both. Like this, we went before the trade show in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out 10 days before.
Nice.
And then I stayed out for another 2.5 weeks after. I went, Vegas to Colorado. Right. And then my wife was with me then. And then I just went out in October for 5 days by myself to get some stuff done in our place.
Did the boys go out there?
Not as much with us. They'll go out on their own or with friends.
Right. Oh, nice.
Where there's, I don't know, edibles and whatever.
I was just going to say.
I don't know.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Right? That's the policy.
That's a different show. That's not KMA Talk Radio.
That's the show I was watching last night.
Probably, yes.
So your father sells his business, right? And then how did you get inspired to say, I'm going to start Alec Bradley Cigars?
Well, we had worked together in the fastener business, and actually, I sold the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
The business was sold.
The business was sold, but
Right.
he wasn't all that interested in selling.
They never are. They really never are.
We used to sell manufacturers, right? Like, if cabinet manufacturers, window manufacturers, so we sold products to them. And then after Hurricane Andrew hit, I had changed the direction of the company to do hurricane-style fasteners. And I actually developed 2 of the fasteners that they currently use in even today's market. And someone came, and then we got Home Depot.
Learn something new every day on KMA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we.
Are you still getting a kickback on that?
I wish I did.
Mm-hmm.
But do you get a good feeling when there's a hurricane? You feel like part of what I did is helping protect everybody out there.
We used to have pre-hurricane parties, like bring it on, because our business would go up.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that do that.
Yeah, right. So, sales would go through the roof.
It's crazy.
And funny enough, the last time that we were supposed to have Alan on, or potentially we were going to have Alan on, it was a hurricane.
The devastating, world-ending hurricane.
Which never came. And I was on the phone with Alec talking to him, and I was like, I don't even know how to put these things up. I'm from Long Island. How the hell do you put shutters up? And he actually knew a lot about them. Now it makes sense.
Your house didn't have impact windows?
No, and that was the one thing when we bought this house. It was built in 2002 or 2001. So
maybe
So they said
it wasn't
it wasn't like mandatory, or they just didn't do it all the time. So
No, they didn't.
I
It
have
wasn't
shutters,
mandatory.
and
Oh,
it was
that
the one thing we
sucks.
didn't get in this house that we wanted.
Oh.
It was the one thing, but I'm not looking to.
We don't shutter
spend tons
anything.
of money.
It's awesome. And you know what's worse is like afterwards when the hurricane passes, because we used to have shuttered homes.
Yeah.
And then you have to live like in darkness
For
right?
like a day.
Yeah, because you're not gonna go out there and take them all down right away, right? And it's like
Right.
now it's just nice. It's the best thing I love about my house. Yeah, I don't shutter nothing.
And you know the standards that were created were so
Back
over the
then.
top. Yeah.
Or
Back in
now.
No, well, okay, they all started. So it started with South Florida Building Code, and then after the hurricane, there was actually one picture of a 2x4 that got thrown through a palm tree. Okay, so it split a palm tree in half, and you could. So that was the basis for all the hurricane standards. Was that so? The testing. I don't know if you know the testing on hurricane protection.
They used to shoot 2x4s.
Shooting a 9-pound 2x4.
Yeah, I've seen it
At 34 miles an hour.
I've seen it.
So
No,
how would you come up with that test, right? It was they saw a picture of a 2x4 that split a palm tree.
Wow.
And so that was, we have to prepare for that.
But that's what people don't understand is that Florida, especially now, is built for these things.
Everything's new,
You can't build a playground these days without the slide making sure it could withstand 100-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, everything's been built lately, so I don't know why everybody gets up and goes nuts.
Disney was built that way back in the 60s.
I get some food in case we run out of power, get propane. I sit in my house and watch TV until we lose power.
Yeah.
And
by the way, I mean, you do want to be protected, but the chances of a 9-pound 2x4 being propelled at 34 miles an hour into your window specifically is very rare.
Yeah, it's like getting hit by lightning. It can happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I know where I'm going to go during the next hurricane. It's to the Alec Bradley offices, where there's 400 bottles.
Whiskey is, I mean, I'm pretty much a hurricane prepared year right now.
There's whiskey and cigars, so that's where I'm going to go.
Let's try to get back on path. So you made these
Just sell the
passes,
business.
you sell the business. How long before you say, I need to start my next chapter?
Well, that's
Did you take a little hiatus? Did you take a little
Well,
sabbatical?
the plan was to take a hiatus. So what happened was we came in, they bought the company very quickly. They had a very short window because I didn't have to sell.
Right.
And so they came in, and it was a very short window. And I said, okay, I'm going to take 6 months off after I close and figure out what my life is going to be and write a list of do's and don'ts. You know, I don't want employees. I don't want inventory. Strike a nerve, Abe? Or is that...
Oh, what a beautiful plan that was.
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful plan.
So on my list of do's and don'ts, and then...
Welcome to Wonderland, where nothing exists and everything is butterflies and rainbows.
Listen, I ran my first shop. For 2 years with one partner and no employees. I took 3.5 days a week off. He took 3.5 days a week off. We closed the shop at 7. You know what I call those years? The wonder years.
Yeah, I get it.
It was like the golden age of my employment career. Seriously.
Yeah, and it went downhill
Nobody
from
ever
there.
called in sick.
Right.
I worked 3.5 days a week. I was out of work by 7. Not a care in the world. I was 26 years old.
Yeah.
Man, those were the days.
Yeah, and they're over.
They're over.
Yeah.
They're long over. Yeah. I got employees now. I don't know their names. That's how bad it is. I'm like, who's this person? Oh, we hired him last week. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, I thought I was going to give myself that window, but from the time they made the offer to the time we closed, I had incorporated Alec Bradley.
How? What happened? What inspired you?
So every morning
I'm assuming at this point you had your 2 kids.
No. What do you mean, Alec and Bradley?
Yes, they're already born.
Yeah.
You didn't name your kids after your cigar
I was
company.
gonna say,
Could you imagine?
I tell everybody I bought a cigar company and named my kids after. Yeah.
Named my kids after the cigar company and decided to make up afterward. Yeah, totally.
How old are you at this point?
36.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of reinventing myself at 36 is always something to think about.
I couldn't imagine. I'm 36 now. Wow. Yeah,
You worry too much.
Yeah.
I do worry a lot.
Wart.
Yeah.
So I incorporated Alec Bradley, and what happened was every morning I'd pick up a cup of coffee and light up a cigar and then head into work at like 7 a.m.
What were you smoking back then? Do you remember?
Yeah, Chateau El Maduros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, anyway, after this whole thing was happening, one of my warehouse guys said, so what are you going to do next? And I said, I have no clue. I'm writing a list now.
Wow.
And he said, you should get in the cigar business. You smoke a cigar every morning at 7 and you love it. You smoke cigars all day. Back then, you could smoke in your offices. I said, yeah, let me think about it. And then I went to Salim's cousin, Sal, was my tobacconist.
Oh, wow.
Down at Mike's.
Salim from
Salim Anano.
Well, I don't know where he's now. He keeps popping around. Where is he now?
He's with EPC.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I
Yeah.
spoke to him the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah, he's been with a few companies.
Right,
on
okay.
his track.
His cousin was my tobacconist, at the counter at Mike's on
Where he used to
31st
buy,
Street.
right.
Yeah. And then he left, Sal left, opened up his own place, and I went to him and said, hey, do they have a trade show for the cigar business? And he said, yeah. I said, could I go with you just as a friend, to help you? And I went to the first trade show.
Wow, he must have really liked you.
I thought
'Cause
consumers weren't allowed.
Dude, it's been going on for centuries.
Yeah. And but I went with him. We went to Cincinnati back then.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Now this wasn't still when it was like in the hotel rooms, wasn't it?
No, this was
Okay.
like 96 or something.
Oh yeah, I remember before the boom. Yeah, yeah. Because like if you go back to the '80s, the trade show was like literally like a floor in a hotel, and everybody had a room.
Right.
Like Ashton was room 501.
And where you keep your room open and
Yeah, the
people
door
just
was
walking
open.
in
You
and
just
out?
walk up and down the hallways. Guys going in and out of rooms. That was a trade show.
Wow, that's shady.
Says the millennial.
Right. Right.
Thank you, Colin.
So you go to the trade show and you're like, wow.
Well, so you walk in, and everyone is actually talking to one another. And I'm like, nothing I've ever attended.
Really?
As a trade show where people are not looking to rip each other's throats out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then people were laughing and having a good time and smoking cigars. And I already had loved the history of cigars. So I'm like, there's something about this. The energy is great and people are nice. I think I want to do this. And that was the beginning of, I tried to get some leads while I was there, people who would make cigars.
Who was your first lead?
A guy named Marimon. Filiberto Marimon.
He had a factory?
He had a little factory.
Now, was your first brand Occidental?
First brand was Bogey Stogies.
Oh, I didn't even know. I don't even know that one.
The only bogey you'll ever enjoy in the golf course.
that what you did?
That was my line.
Hey, you really are a golfer, man.
Cheesy,
Oh.
man. Cheesy, but that's all I had.
It's a true consumer became manufacturer brand right there, right?
And we sold cigars on golf courses. I had acrylic displays, and we called golf courses around the country and shipped them cigars.
Really?
Yeah.
So then how did it become like a real company? I mean, because, when I first met you and we started, I remember, I can't remember, I think Jonathan said, you need to go talk to this guy, Alan Rubin. He's got some good cigars. I think I walked over to the trade show and talked to you, and this is like literally 20 years ago almost. And, your Occidental brand was like on fire. It was like the hottest bundle in the universe. And that was being made at Henke's factory.
Correct.
How did that relationship develop?
Yeah, we struggled, obviously, putting cigars on golf courses. And I'm born and raised in Florida, so I didn't realize that half the country's not playing golf 6 months.
Right, yeah. I mean, half the country's not smoking 6 months a year, pretty much, almost.
Correct. Yeah, we played a lot of hand high-lie. I was a great wiffle ball player in our warehouse. We had a lot of
downtime.
A lot of time, yeah. And hand high-lie, if you've never played it with a golf ball, is pretty spectacular.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know what that is.
Highlight.
Please explain.
But
So it's highlight without
with
a
a
big
golf,
thing.
but with
You
a
don't
golf
have
ball.
the scoop.
You don't have to
the
scoop, but you have to catch it the same way.
And throw it.
Yeah, we knocked out all the fluorescence in our warehouse. Yeah, it was spectacular. But that was the beginning, and that was,
Do your
tough
kids
times.
know this story?
I don't know if they do or not.
They're like, oh, this is what Dad used to do.
Yeah.
Well, they know now.
And we were renting space from a guy who was renting space. I mean, we were pretty removed.
Wow.
I took some green board and made a humidor, and it was like just the beginnings. But
But you weren't in retail. You had no reps on the road. You were just selling directly to cigar.
We were selling to golf courses.
Golf courses.
Yeah.
That was the niche. That's how I started. I was servicing golf courses, country clubs, restaurants, and bars in Chicago. That's how I started my cigar career.
And then we did some biz ops. We did some business opportunities where we'd call and say, hey, you can put cigars in 10 convenience stores and buy our program.
Did it work?
It kept me in business.
Well, that's enough.
Did it work? No.
Right, but
Did it keep me
paid
in
the
business?
bills, right?
Yeah, it did.
So when did you meet Henke? Or went down and now so this guy was. We got to take a break.
I like where this is going.
All
Would
right.
you like to tease forward with this question?
Well, I just was always curious at how it went to. Now he was making this cigar with this guy, this Bogey Stogies, to meeting Henke's not like your run-of-the-mill guy to run into.
No.
All of a sudden, have make your cigar. So let's examine that when we get back from the break.
We are going to talk more about how Alan got in with Henke Kellner when we come back here on KMA Talk Radio. Keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
We are family. Stop right there. A, I hate the song. B, I can't sing. Dan Blunt here for Alec Bradley Cigars. I'm making a point, though, and that's Alec Bradley Cigars is a family operation. Alan Rubin named the company after his two sons, Alec and Bradley, when they were just tykes. Now they're grown up, working alongside their dad, making the best damn cigars you ever smoked. So join the family. Alec Bradley Cigars.
Fuel your soul and experience inspiration with the Aging Room Quattro series by Rafael Nodal. More than just a master blender, but the inspired composer of 4 boutique masterpieces for the sophisticated palate of an aficionado. The Aging Room Quattro series are a perfect chord of flavor and aroma, and are born from the best tobaccos, aged under the expertise of one of the greatest names in cigar making. Truly the perfect notes for a genuine cigar smoking experience. Aging Room Quattro series, a quartet of excellence.
Hoya de Nicaragua proudly announces the release of Cuatro Cinco Reserva Especial, a carefully modified recipe containing a unique and exceptional selection of barrel-aged grade A fillers and a beautiful silky shade-grown Habano wrapper. From the legendary Jalapa Valley, produced in small quantities, this exceptional medium to full-bodied cigar will continue to captivate consumers with its rich Nicaraguan complexity, subtle woody and sweet flavors, and a velvety finish. Try a Cuatro Cinco Reserva Especial today.
CLE Cigar Company presents CLE Cigars, Aroa Cigars, and Asylum Cigars. With 4 generations and over 120 years of experience in tobacco, from seed to smoke, these cigars are produced in Honduras and Nicaragua, with the utmost care and precision possible. CLE Cigar Company introduces a vast array of tobaccos in various sizes to bring the highest quality of premium tobacco direct for your enjoyment. Visit clecigars.com for more information.
Since their humble beginnings in 1998, Drew Estate has believed that the production floor is the crossroads between art and passion, and where the real magic takes place. Drew Estate Master Blender Willie Herrera has crafted a unique medium-bodied line extension that is creamy, lush, and ultra-smooth, and finished off with a flawless shade wrapper that delivers satisfaction in spades. Continuing the story from their factory floor, it is with great bravado that the Drew Estate presents Under Crown Shade, a true Drew experience.
For hundreds of years, the indigenous people of the Dominican Republic took tobacco and rolled it tightly into palm leaves. These long cylinders of tobacco, called yawa, created different, unique, robust flavors and aromas, and that original Enduyo tobacco is now for the first time featured in La Aurora Dominican DNA. Full-bodied, robust, spicy, and elegant, La Aurora Dominican DNA is a return to the roots of Dominican cigar making that only La Aurora can provide. Enjoy the very DNA of the Dominican cigar industry. Look to the lion, La Aurora Cigars. We are Dominican defined.
The Oliva family, the makers of some of the most affordable yet highest rated premium cigars available. For 7 straight years, Cigar Aficionado has rated Oliva as one of the best cigars of the year. And Oliva has a cigar for all smokers, from the newly released Gilberto Oliva Reserva to the bold and rich Oliva Serie V. Oliva cigars can be found at a tobacconist near you, so always ask for Oliva, an unbeatable value and uncompromising quality. The Oliva family of cigars.
Ventura Cigar Company is a boutique cigar brand born in sunny Southern California. Ventura Cigar Company is on a mission to create memorable, complex cigar blends that excite the senses and reward discriminating palates. Experience the Cigar Aficionado number 13 Cigar of the Year, the archetype Axis Mundi. Rise up, step up, look up, fire up, and leave compromise behind with Ventura Cigar Company. Check them out online at venturacigar.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio, broadcasting live here in lovely West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, of course, Mr. Honest Abe.
Hey.
Paul, the producer.
Hi.
And we are going through our Meet Your Maker segment with Mr. Alan Rubin of Alec Bradley Cigars. Mr. Alan Rubin, thank you for being here, sir.
Always my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So,
we got the fake Alan Rubin on watching now. Too.
Oh,
the fake Alan. He is watching.
We do like him a lot.
We love him, dude. He's a big fan of our show, but we always call you the real Alan Rubin. He's,
He's now in what, North Carolina or
Yeah,
Atlanta
he's
or
working for
somewhere.
Santa
Yeah, they are
Clara.
calling him, I think, Altidus Rubin.
That's funny.
Yeah, he showed up at one of our events out of state. We saw him.
No, he's a good guy. But so before the break, we were talking about your transition, right? So you met a
Be careful with that statement, but go ahead.
transition.
Well, I was going to say that
Abe might be going through one
before we
soon.
went to break, we were teasing how you got hooked up with Henke Kellner.
Right, I mean, it's a big leap, right? You got the small guy making cigars, all of a sudden
And
you're
also-
meeting like one of the most renowned cigar makers in the world. How did that
A
fall
guy
in your lap?
who makes Davidoff, a guy who...
Well, he made a lot of other things.
Exactly,
but
as
still,
well,
I mean,
but-
he's like him and his family are like one of the most renowned
They're
tobacceros out
They're
there.
Dominican Republic cigars.
How did that fall in your lap?
So, I told you I was working with this guy, Marimon, out in Honduras, but he had an office in Miami, and it happened to be there was this moment. He was not a great cigar maker, and not necessarily.
In that time, there was a lot of not great.
Yeah,
when
correct.
you started, that was like the era of a lot of not great cigar makers because all the main brands. I mean, you were pre-boom or post-boom?
I was post.
Right. So all the great brands were drying up, and all these guys who had tobacco who couldn't sell anything for years. All of a sudden now, hey, we're the only guys with cigars. So there was a lot of like not great.
Yeah,
brands
and there was a
during
lot
that
of
time.
not great stuff about this guy. It wasn't just cigar making.
Okay, there you
but
go.
it happened
Oh, God.
to be. Yeah,
That's
it
for another show.
Yeah,
Right?
But it happened to be
America's
that
Most Wanted.
I was walking. I think I was walking into the office, and Ralph Montero was walking out, and we literally were like just crossed. I
But
mean,
you guys didn't know each other.
we
at
didn't
the time.
know each other.
Right.
Had I got stopped at a red light, that meeting never would have happened.
Right.
And we spoke for just a few minutes, waiting.
What was
and
Ralph doing?
Ralph had Montero Cigar Company,
Oh, okay.
and it was being distributed by Davidoff
Well, there
at
you
the
have
time.
it.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't even know Davidoff did distribution.
well, the Montero line. Yeah.
Okay.
So we.
That's a good. That was a good score for Ralph.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we exchanged cards, and I did a little research on him. They're like, everyone was telling me, this guy's in the business 20 years already. He was a young guy.
Wow.
He's Pedro Martin's nephew.
I didn't know that.
So he came out of high school like at 18 and started working in their warehouse and worked his way up and so and he had like an accounting background. He was everyone said, oh, he's as good of an accountant as he knows tobacco. I called him up one day and said, hey man, I know you're struggling and I'm struggling and I could use some help. And I went to see him and we had some coffee and smoked cigars, and I'm like, I think like you could use the income and I really need accounting help. And maybe we could work something out, and we did. And
But now you had already had Alec Bradley cigars.
I'd already had, yeah.
All right. So did you hire him, or
I hired him, yeah.
And he just walked away from Montero cigars?
No.
You guys distributed Montero cigars then, or no?
No, it was none of that.
All right.
He just
We got it all wrong. Let me talk.
No. Well, so Davidoff was distributing Montero, but the truth is they really wanted the Maduro line that he came out with, and then they realized we're going to come out with our own Maduro, so they really stopped selling any of his stuff. So he was hurting, right? And I needed someone to help me with the accounting side. So I offered him, can you work with me part-time? And his part-time was like 40 hours a week.
Yeah, best guys.
Yeah.
Some people don't know how to operate part time.
No,
Right.
no. He
There's
was
no
in
such thing
first
as
thing in the
part-time,
morning, and he was the
right.
last one to leave, and I'm like, this is a great deal. And and I went, months later, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months later, I said to him, if you commit to me full time, I'll double what I'm paying you. I couldn't double the hours. You'd have to.
Right.
He would have to have built a shower and get a bed.
Right.
And it took him some time, and he finally committed. But that's how it started. And then he had friendships with Henke forever through Pedro Martin.
And that was when you finally said, "Hey, let's go see if Henke will make me a brand."
It's just the opposite, actually. Henke, because the boom was over, they were looking to supplement production.
Right.
Because Davidoff cut their production.
They need to keep their rollers busy. They got rollers
yeah.
in a factory now, because that's what happens. Demand goes up. Oh, we need more rollers, but guess what happens when demand goes down? You got people sitting around, and got nothing to roll.
Yeah, 1999. I mean, there were 100 million more cigars produced than consumed.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they came to me. Hanky went to Ralph and said, "Do you think Alan would do something?" And I said, "I can't sell what I have now. There's no way I'm doing another brand." And he's like, Hanky will make it. And so we went through some samples, and I picked a cigar I liked, which became Occidental Reserve. And I said to Hanky, what do you want out of this? I get you want production, but what else? He said, "I'd like to build the Occidental name because that was the name of the factory."
Right.
Otherwise, I'd never name a brand Occidental Reserve.
You know what? I never knew that's how that. I mean, there you go.
I didn't either. That's fascinating information.
So I was trying to give Hanky something maybe more than just production.
And now you know.
And he probably appreciated that.
And he did. And so we started, and I made some calculated moves that were bad, but they did keep me in business as well.
But that bundle at one point, I think, was like the number one hot bundle. I mean, at least in my retail universe.
And probably the most expensive bundle at the time.
But it still was reasonable. No, I think the most expensive bundles were always Quest Array, right? They were like box prices in a bundle, right? I mean, that was always like a buy. I never understood that, and eventually, that bundle just, didn't work. But Occidental Reserve, I mean, I think when we were carrying them, it was still like $3 something for a Churchill, which is so reasonably priced. But I remember when we started bringing in, we couldn't keep. That was literally my number one selling bundle, and I don't think it changed until post S-chip.
Yeah, I mean the pricing went up, but we still sell a bunch of it. And we've never advertised it or marketed it.
Never, but I just found that when S-chip affected it, because it was kind of a jump on a lot of bundles on S-chip, that it slowed up and it changed on us. But I gotta imagine that you had to be thrilled with how that bundle was selling when it came out, or no?
Yeah, I mean,
you're looking a little anguished in there.
Yeah,
am I missing part of the story?
Yeah, because I did some things I shouldn't have done.
Are we sharing what those are?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go. Sure.
It's 20 years ago.
Yeah, what happened? What is it?
Statute of limitations is over.
Correct.
Yeah, what is it that you should have done?
So the one thing I wasn't allowed to do was mention.
Oh, everybody knew.
Well, I wasn't allowed.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed
knew.
to mention that Hanky was making it and it was coming out of one of the Davidoff factories. Okay, so back then, people were faxing, so I sent a blast fax for the 3,500 tobacconists that say from the maker of Davidoff and Alec. That didn't work out all that well.
They weren't too happy about that.
Then the next thing I created was a letter to Hanky that I still have, and it's called Hanky Ass Kissing.
Okay.
Yeah. That's honest.
Well, I tell you, it's a funny story. This is a true story, too. Listen, for some reason, I don't know how I knew, but I knew, nobody really Davidoff didn't want it known that these were being made by Hanky, right? I guess they felt it would, people would think, I paid $20 for Davidoff, I'll go get a $3 Occidental Reserve,
and it's
right?
It's coming out of the
same factory.
Right. Same guy.
So I knew this as a retailer. I can't remember where I heard the story from, but I just hired Michael Wallstrom. He was my manager for operations guy. It became my operations guy. Worked for me for 8 or 9 years, and I just hired him. It's his first couple months, and some of the big wigs from Davidoff come. Right, this poor guy doesn't know nothing about what's going on. Right, and they're walking in the humidor, they're looking around. They see the Occidental Reserve. Goes, "Oh, you sell Occidental Reserve?" He goes, "Oh yeah, man, they're awesome. They're made by Hanky Killer." I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Then I had that big lecture of shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just shut. There's that lawyer video. I love
That's
it.
where that came from, huh?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. What do you do? Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Don't know what to say. Shut the fuck up. Don't say shit. Because he wasn't savvy in what was going on behind the scenes then. And obviously he learned very quickly. Just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, so there were some other things too. I mean, so I called them Kellner seconds. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So they didn't love that, right? But then I love when the tobacconists did some things on their own, which were a little brazen. They just put them as Davidoff seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So my life wasn't easy at the time, but some of it's calculated,
Hey, it worked.
I went from having no accounts to having 500 accounts.
Right. No, it worked. Yeah. I remember that brand did well.
Yeah. So.
Then the next brand that I can recall, Trilogy.
We did Havana Sun-Grown, also through Hanky. That was the first.
Was that a bundle?
What's that?
Was that a bundle?
No, that was a box product.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And it was the first. It was really the first full-bodied cigar that had come out of a Davidoff factory, I think, ever.
I think I had it. Red box?
We had the original one was like a 5.5
cherry?
slide top, and then a cherry colored bottom.
That's the one. Yeah, I did have it.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really digging into that mental archives right now. And then I can't forget Trilogy.
Yeah.
And I just heard the story. I've known you for years. The first time Paul was telling me, and we have a pre-meeting show meeting.
Right.
He was telling me the story of how you came up with Trilogy. Tell us the story.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I find it hilarious.
You talking about the Home Depot part?
Yeah. I never heard this.
Yeah, so
This is
the
awesome.
idea came from the fact that I was invited on this fishing trip with Thompson's. I don't know if you remember Thompson's used to do all these fishing trips, and Bob had a giant yacht.
No one invited me back then. Listen, it was years before I knew at the trade show that people actually took you to dinner. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What's this? You mean you pay to feed me? Get out of here. Yeah, no, I didn't get invited to crap.
Yeah, so what happens is because they were, an internet catalog company.
Yeah.
They couldn't take their customers, so to pay for the boat, they had to take their vendors. Okay, so that's how that worked. So they flew us down to Mexico on Bob's private jet and then put us up. But it was a bunch of manufacturers, and I was with some really cool people. But Tim Osgoner from CAO was one.
Yeah.
Michael Argenti was there.
Wow, now you're really naming some names now.
Yeah. So
Tim we've had on the show.
Tim's
I don't
one of
know.
those guys who got out and got out. Like.
You mean he's smart, is what?
I'm just saying.
We did a Where Are They Now for
very
Tim.
few guys get out and go away. I mean, this guy got out and he's gone.
And let me tell you, and Tim especially, he's phenomenal.
He's a great guy, and he's doing a lot of charity work. So good for him.
But anyway, so there were like 5 manufacturers on the boat, and I was really the young guy trying to figure it all out. So I just did a lot of listening, and it was like, you can't just come up with another round cigar, and you can't just. There's plenty of those in the market, and they were just talking, and I was just kind of
absorbing,
sponging everything.
Yeah.
And so I came back, and I'm like, hey, I said to Ralph, I want to do a triangular cigar. And he's like, yeah, not going to happen.
The old school guy. Yeah, what the hell's the matter with you? My family's been doing this
that
for
is 100%.
It was insulting to him.
Yeah, it was the wrong comment to the wrong person.
Yep.
Okay? So I said, no, I think I'm going to do a triangular cigar. And he's like, nope, because we cannot sell a triangular cigar. I said, okay. So I went to Home Depot, and they were demoing a DeWalt table saw, and I'm like, hey, does that thing cut angles? He's like, oh, yes, it does.
Does that cut angles?
I said, great. I went and bought wood glue, and I said, like, cut this and cut this and cut this. And I literally loaded up all these cut pieces of wood into a bag and glue, and I went back to the office.
Made your own mold.
And I made a mold, and we had a press. We had a hand press on one of the tables outside in the warehouse. So every night before I'd leave work, I would press a cigar and leave it there and come in the morning and smoke it.
So wait, it only had one slot for a cigar?
That's it.
I didn't know that.
I still have it. I still have it in my office.
I'd love to see a picture of that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see that.
In fact, you should post it. If you don't send it to me,
Yeah.
I'll post it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We, first you wake up the next day and you're like, okay, what is this thing going to be?
Right.
And then eventually I started pressing them in the cellophane because it would protect the wrapper from
crushing. Yeah.
And then we'd add moisture or remove moisture to see what that does. I was like this.
Experimenting.
Mad
scientist.
Kind of this mad scientist mentality.
Yeah.
And then I just came up with, and we were working on blends, and so we had 3 blends that we really liked, and like, I can't come out with 3 blends, I'm barely able to get 1 blend into the market.
Right.
No one's going to accept 3 blends, and I started thinking about this triangle press and 3, and it all worked out, and basically 3 sizes, 3-sided, and 3 blends was our trilogy.
You know who's my
Brilliant!
You know who's my first Alec Bradley rep who actually put Trilogy in my stores?
I would hope Kevin Casey. I don't know.
No.
Who? Oh, Eric.
Way back
Eric, of
Eric
course.
Espinosa.
Yeah.
Eric Espinosa?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that he worked for you, but I did not know.
He was my first Alec Bradley rep. He's the guy who made me bring on this triangle-shaped cigar.
By the
What
way,
did you think when
Triangle?
you saw it? Yeah, were you like, what the hell?
The cigars were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird, but they sold. I mean, when
and the packaging was bright colored.
When we put it on the shelves, it stood out.
But I can see for sure that actually makes sense, especially for a lot of guys, because it's not going to roll around.
Won't roll off the hot tub.
My grandfather
That'll
on
roll
his
off the hot
on his boat.
Right.
That would have been perfect for you. He was a cigar smoker his whole life. Just put it on the edge of the
Why
boat
did
there.
that brand stop? Go away? I mean, I know it's like the course of life, a lot of brands, it eventually slows down, whatever, but it was so unique and first of a novelty. You should bring it back.
you're about the 1,347
Listen,
person.
even
to say
in a
that.
limited run, a special release, a one and done, you should bring it. First off, let me ask you this question.
If not
Do you
only
have-
for me to try.
do you have any-
Before you ask, let me say one thing.
Do you have any old trilogy lying around?
So let me just say this one thing so we get it clear. If my two sons are listening to this, Abe did not say bring it back. I just want you to know. He is not supporting that idea, gentlemen. Get that out of your head.
I like it. Do it. Do it. Listen. Look, it's very hard to, create a whole. You could do a limited thing, a flashback, a throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
Throwback Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Make 3,000 boxes of it.
So
I'll commit to a couple hundred right now.
let me.
Wow. All right.
How about that?
That changes everything.
Boys, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's hard to get out of this
If it's
man.
a limited run, regular productions, but if it's a limited run, I'll commit to a couple hundred boxes.
So let me say there is a couple of things. One is we have the blends and we have all the blend sheets, right? So there's no issues. And believe it or not, there's still some people that have trilogy sitting in.
No.
Yeah, there's some guys up in the Northeast that are still.
Are they
collecting.
hoarding it or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
they keep it
If
purposely,
somebody
okay.
asked them, it's not up on the shelf. But
Well,
if
listen,
somebody
I
asks them,
could
they'll sell
use
them.
some for my rare and vintage. Stuff like that I hunt down.
I still have, I think, a few boxes.
I could use some for my rare and vintage room if you know anybody that wants to part with some boxes.
So let me.
I'm just saying.
You were
That's
asking.
going back from
I'm
what
so
year now?
curious
How many
about
years is
this.
that? That's gonna be at least 15 plus years old.
Yeah.
At least.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you know anybody that has a little stash and wants to part with a few boxes,
I will find out.
I will love to have that in my R&V.
Look at this. We're doing business on the air here.
Why not?
Yeah. So
This
the
is
reason
here
that
on KMA Talk Radio.
the reason I think that it went away, there was a couple of things. One is there were nine SKUs
It was
in
a
the
lot.
line.
It was a lot.
And tobacconists at that point weren't giving 9 SKUs to any line.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't want to give that space. So that started to constrict it down, and then people were saying, hey, you know what, we could sell more if it was round. More people would be apt to want to smoke it. And I think it just watered down the brand a little bit. And then we started heading in a different direction as a company, marketing-wise, and just went away. I think it came out of this weird brain.
Why
and
do
then,
I keep getting the sports channel?
I don't know. We hear something.
I don't know, and I'm trying to get a score if we can.
Right? This happened last week. We got to talk to the Greek. This TV should be off.
No, it's not.
Who just turned on the volume?
It's not the TV.
No, that's
either.
Colin.
Yeah,
That's Colin.
That was
but
Colin.
It's
but
the
not the
studio.
TV.
There's
It's the
bleed
studio,
in the
yeah.
studio.
All right.
So you hear.
Very odd.
It's not as bad as when the Chevy commercial from last week.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
we
gonna
get a
say.
bleed in our headphones
Are
still.
we the only ones hearing it, or do the listeners hear that?
The listeners
They don't hear-
probably
No,
don't
no, no.
hear it because it's too low. They
They
get the
don't
feed
hear
from our
it.
headphones.
From what we heard from the last time, no one heard it. So,
Okay.
It's very low if they do hear.
Are you doing that? Stop
That's
it.
him. Yeah. He's messing with you.
Stop it.
Well, so you started moving in a different direction. Is it in your head? Is it like going backwards if you were to re-release it? Is that why you're against it?
Yes.
Okay, I can see that. I guess. I guess I
It's
can
not
understand.
going backwards. It's called a tribute, man. It's
Yeah.
called a tribute.
We actually have a name back for it if we decide to go back. But
So there's a whole plan in place.
It's predicate.
Alan
Once
just
again,
hasn't given
it's
the-
predicate.
I gotta have a talk with Alec and Bradley.
that will be the only way to get it done.
We
but-
have to
yeah.
strategize. I have to strategize with them now.
Because you know what they'll do, right? They're gonna, without telling me, they'll put the whole plan together and go, "Dad, you know you were in that meeting,
right?"
And then I'm like, I don't remember anything anyway.
Crap, you may be right.
We could always make
They're
it
like,
the.
it was a Thursday. You remember, and you had coffee.
That's
And
great.
I'm like, oh, they're not gonna lie to me.
Right? That's great. I think it would be brilliant, man. I think that you got to remember, there's a lot of new cigar smokers who never saw it, like him, who's never seen it the first time around.
I never saw it.
There's a whole market out there that would say, "Wow, this is got to try this."
So the cool part is not only do I have the original mold that I made, but the
I'm
original.
going to bother you for that picture, by the
No
way.
problem.
I want to post it.
Yeah,
like a
that'd
piece
be
of
awesome.
history. Yeah.
And then, but we actually have the original molds that we made when we made
the first runs.
Right, because when the factories were bought down in Central America, we were making it.
And there were wood
all the
molds.
assets
There
were
were
there.
wood molds,
There were
right?
wood molds,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, so I got a call from the factory, like, "Hey, we have these triangle molds. They can only be yours."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, I would love to see him come back. That's awesome.
Yeah. We just have, because we did a couple of different iterations of the packaging.
We
probably have to go back.
That's what that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes.
The next
score.
microblend.
Score. Done.
Come on.
Now,
Say yes now.
He's
in
fighting
all three, you're talking because there was a Maduro, a Corojo, and a Cameroon.
We always create a new blend and make it one of our microblends. I'm in. I'm done. That's a done deal if you want to do it. I'm in.
That's interesting.
There you go.
That would, I would consider that for
All right.
sure.
Well, we'll have to talk after the show. I have some whiskey.
Okay. He knows my weakness.
Exactly.
Oh.
He's got a
like,
button.
listen to me.
I got a couple of nice recommendations at the West Palm Beach store. It's just up the block.
Yeah, we may.
I mean, listen to me. It's like my wife. If I'm feeling frisky, I always know my odds are better when I booze her up. That's the way it is.
You get that lady some
I
crown.
gotta get her a little slippery,
Get a little crown of that lady. Everything's all right.
So I'm gonna hit a sore spot here now. Ready?
Go.
Prime. Yeah. That's it's bad when you have a guy 20 years on the other side of the mic,
Yeah,
right?
it's scaring me a little bit right now. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you probably dug that somewhere deep and forgot all about it.
Yeah, actually, we have some boxes of Prime still in our
I'll
office.
take that for my rare vintage.
We do have some boxes that, we
Prime
found.
was your first big move.
Prime was our first big move.
A big move.
Yeah.
You
And on some level, our first big failure.
It didn't go over well.
No.
Yeah.
The cigar didn't match, the packaging didn't match the price.
There was a little disconnect.
Yeah.
And it was really ornate packaging. I mean, it was these elaborate box, felted inside. I remember.
Yeah.
And it was your highest price cigar at the time.
$10.
Yeah, $10, and it's going way back.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience?
I'm not a good cigar guy.
No.
Yeah.
Every cigar guy's made that. Every cigar guy I know has made that mistake.
No, if I took Prime was a great learning lesson for me, but what I did take out of it is know your audience. Know that if it's not real, don't try and sell it.
Man, it was PRYME, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So what happened was the first of all, the blend was great, and if you smoke the blend now,
probably better.
It's spectacular. We actually would like to recreate it if we could, but a lot of those tobaccos, because we were using Habanos from Italy, and we were stuff you're never going to get anymore.
Very cool.
Yeah, but we did this elaborate embroidered artwork on the inside of the box, and we rounded the edges on top of the box. It's just people didn't believe the whole thing. The cigar needed to be maybe a little bit beefier, a little more flavor. It's a great, again, cigar was great, but not in that packaging, not at that price.
It just didn't work.
Not at that time.
So why wouldn't you? Maybe this is me being ignorant. Why is it impossible to get Habanos from Italy? Like the Italian tobacco, is they're just not grown anymore, or
if they are, they're not available.
Okay,
and they're not available to us. But we were using some. Like it's so interesting, right? CAO made a living off of it, right? CAO Italia,
right?
It was using the same tobacco I was using.
Oh, really? Okay. Huh.
So, all right.
By the way, the CAO Colombia that he did, the same Cubita I was using.
Huh.
Wow.
All right. We're bumping up on the break, but I have to ask a question that hopefully is going to be brief, but maybe not long. But what is the favorite cigar you've ever made?
Oh, wow.
For you.
Let's answer that after the break.
Well, no, because I got a couple minutes. I wanted to get into that. I feel like that's a short.
That's like a great teaser question.
All right.
You're supposed to ask right before you go to break, so you leave everybody on the edge. Ooh, what's going to be his favorite
Guess what?
cigar?
We can break anytime we want.
I know we can. Fine. So apparently we'll do that.
You're the most seasoned radio guy out of the three of us, and you don't know that.
I was trying to get to a
seasoned
point.
is a
fine, but okay,
tough
Alan,
word.
you have to think about that. What's your favorite cigar you've ever made? We're gonna take a break. Keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Hi, this is Nish Patel from Rocky Patel Premium Cigars. I want to introduce you guys out to our Old World Reserve Corojo made in a Honduran facility. What a beautiful medium-bodied cigar. When you light it up, it's got a gorgeous white ash, and you get that sweetness from that delicious Corojo wrapper, a little bit of spice, and a lot of nuttiness. Go to your local brick and mortar, check out the Old World Reserve Corojo. You will not be disappointed. Again, what a delicious cigar.
When Dominican passion, artistry, and skill combine with 114 years of family legacy, you don't just have a cigar, you have the cigar. Whether you love the mild, flavorful La Aurora 1987 Connecticut, the spicy 1962 Corojo, the always smooth, sweet La Aurora 1903 Cameroon, or the all-new powerhouse 1985 Maduro, you aren't just enjoying a part of history, you are lighting your own legacy. Flavor, value, family, Be a part of something. Look to the lion. La Aurora Cigars. We are Dominican defined.
Hello, this is Glenn Case, owner of Christoph Cigars. Smoking a cigar is all part of the experience. For me, there's nothing better than gathering with friends after an amazing steak dinner and smoking my GC Signature Series paired with a fine glass of scotch. Good conversation and a few laughs is always better when smoking Christoph. Start enriching your downtime. Go to Christoph.com and click on the Discover Your Christoph tab to find the Christoph cigars that are right for you. Upgrade your downtime with Christoph.
Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust and its master ligador, Steve Saka, is crafting the very finest cigars available today. One such brand is his Todos los Dias. This liga is very smooth with tastes of dark chocolate and figs, with a nice sweet chili pepper that escalates in warmth as you smoke it. On the palate, it feels like a medium-bodied smoke, but it's lying to you, as the cigar is quite strong. From the first puff, there's no doubt of the origin of Todos los Dias, or that it's intended solely for the seasoned cigar smoker. Viva Nicaragua.
With over 20 years in the cigar industry, Eric Espinoza has done it all. He began in retail, became a sales manager, developed and owns his own brands, and today is internationally known as a manufacturer of top-quality premium cigars. Nothing gives Eric more pleasure than to be able to make his own cigars for consumers worldwide to enjoy. Experience cigars made in the Espinoza way. La Ranja Reserva, Murcielago, 601, and Espinoza Habano, and Connecticut. For more information, visit EspinozaCigars.com.
On a remote island in the center of Nicaragua's largest freshwater lake is a small valley that rests between two active volcanoes. This is the island of Ometepe, and it produces some of the rarest and most flavorful tobaccos in the world. Rafael Nadal, creator of the brand Aging Room, has issued Ometepe tobacco to create his newest masterpiece, the Aging Room Bin No. 2. Why not experience one of the most complex and elegant flavor journeys available and pick up a Bin No. 2 today? Surgeon General warning, cigar smoking can cause cancer of the mouth and throat even if you do not inhale.
Awarded the 2014 Nicaraguan Cigar of the Year with numerous 90-plus ratings, the Perdomo 20th Anniversary Cigar celebrates Tabacalera Perdomo's 20 years as one of Nicaragua's largest premium cigar manufacturers. Using only the highest priming tobaccos grown exclusively by the Perdomo family, the 20th Anniversary Cigar has a tremendous profile with layer upon layer of rich, elegant, complex flavors. Visit your nearest authorized tobacconist today and experience the masterful blend of these Nicaraguan puros. Now available in extremely limited edition pyramid size in sun-grown or Maduro.
Great and fun times are always made better with great food. Come experience the new menu by Rum Shack at the world-famous Spearmint Rhino in West Palm Beach, featuring exciting new and delicious offerings. Experience their 1-pound New York strip steak special for just under $15 daily until 10 p.m. Enjoy a fine lunch without breaking your wallet every Tuesday and Saturday from their $7 lunch menu. No matter the time or day, the kitchen is open till close at Spearmint Rhino, West Palm Beach.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. We are here broadcasting live. This is the final half hour.
We're gonna go long.
Yeah,
Are you in a rush?
You got
Yeah,
a place
man,
to
we're
be?
gonna keep going. I'm having
No,
fun
I
with
just
this
have
show.
to fill up to get home. But yeah,
Well, fill up on whiskey.
whiskey and petrol. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? But we
Not at the same time.
I'm gonna bust this mic. We were talking before the break, but I want to just talk about
I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, of course,
Thank
Honest Abe, Paul the producer. We have Alan Rubin as our special guest for our Meet Your Maker segment. Alan, thank you once again for being here. It is a pleasure to have you. It's been an absolutely lovely conversation.
Thank you.
the show goes so much better when you do your job.
I know.
Does he
Great
normally
intro.
not?
Sometimes we skip the intros.
Well, you kind of tried to influx, and then I tried to bring it back, and thus I'm trying to do
Listen,
the whole thing.
you're the first guy that talks when we come back from a break.
Yeah.
Do your job, no one will interrupt you, but then you pause and you get on tangents and you open up the door.
You tangented about your mic breaking.
The mic
He
is a
did.
pain.
He did.
It keeps
He
floating
did.
all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
There
they
you
don't
go.
know-
That's
they-
perfect.
They don't know a pair of pliers.
Stop
is.
whining.
But I do want to talk about my wig shopping experience before we go back to Alan on the question, because
Okay.
it was pretty funny. You know, because I have
So
to
you've already shopped for a wig?
I already
so
have a wig.
You're
just in
set.
case.
You
Dude,
think you're gonna lose?
There's no shopping if you do lose. So we all have to.
Yeah,
come
but the
prepared.
man I know, the Abe I know, would say, There's no way I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, that was my attitude.
You're the one who
first
said,
bet.
I'm not going to lose whatsoever.
So I don't have to worry about
That
it.
was my attitude the first time around.
Well, remind everybody exactly what the bet was.
Well, the first stage of the bet was the three of us said we all had to lose 15% of our total body weight in 4 months or whatever, 3 months, whatever the date was, right? If any one of us didn't make that we would do an event in drag. Either I would go to Burn and do an event there in drag. Nimish would come to my shop. Steve would. The loser who didn't make it had to do an event in drag. So when the time was up, Nimish and I definitely made our goals. Steve claims to have made his goal. There was no formal weigh-in for Steve. But then Steve comes up with a great idea. Well, let's double down. Let's turn this into because everybody was very excited about this thought that one of us might have ended up in drag.
And then it was all disappointing because everybody hit their
everybody
goal.
was a little disappointed because all of us made our goals, quote, quote. So Steve gets us to double down, and we doubled down to do, okay, now whoever loses the least is going to dress in drag no matter what. And that's what he committed us to. And the weigh-in is at 2 p.m. at my house next Friday. And if, the loser has the least body weight lost, you're getting dressed.
Yeah.
So you got to come prepared.
I mean, I can tell you just from my golfing buddies and when we bet, you're not doubling.
Yeah.
You're not doubling if you're winning. Right? It's like the guy who's got the most to lose is the one who says, hey, let's double down.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm not throwing stock under the bus.
But listen, you're
that's
right.
Where he belongs. That's where he belongs.
I didn't see it coming, and in retrospect, it's 100%
And he
what
caught
happened.
you, which is sad. Because
Yeah,
I know
he
you a long time. That's
Well,
rare.
I was cocky and confident. I'd done so well, just lost, I don't know what it was, 50-some pounds. I'm like, you know what, who cares? I'm going to crush him again anyway, and dumb.
He caught you at a weak moment.
He caught me in a weaker moment, and he got me, and we're prepared. So we're week shopping, and the only upside I have to all this, it's Halloween, right?
So it's not as weird, I guess?
Yes. My wife's taking me to this wig store, and we're trying on wigs, and it's really funny because they all look so nice on the little mannequin head, right? And then they put them on, and I look like a bad version of Beavis or Butthead, right? and they're all so small on my head, right?
I was going to say, you have a big head, yeah.
Let me tell you something. This is a big place, right? I mean, it's like all women, right? Huge place. They're all shopping. I'm the only dude in there other than the guy that works there. Now, it's funny is because my wife wants to give me this thing called like a lace front wig. I'm not going to go into the definition of what it is.
So it looks like there's a hairline?
But basically, there's an underlying piece of lace.
Yeah.
The guy's like, every time my wife's trying to squeeze on my head, he's like, don't break the lace. Don't break the lace.
Oh, that's not at all what I thought he would sound like.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, no. I totally thought he sounded like that.
That's exactly what he sounded like.
No, the wig guy absolutely has to sound like that.
And I kept telling the guy, listen, dude, if we break it, we'll buy it. Don't worry about it, man. Right? And like after the third one, he goes, I don't think lace work for you. You need to try the other wigs. So, it was a very awkward.
Get your giant head out of here.
Yes, it was a very awkward experience, but we ended up getting a wig. So I just.
Cool. Are you gonna say? Is it blonde, brunette, redhead?
It's a lighter colored wig.
It's not blue.
Colors,
it's not a color, right? Like you should go traditional.
I would have liked to see you as a redhead.
Wow, what a creep.
Yeah.
That's such a weird statement.
I just thought that was.
I'm looking at it.
I thought it was a good joke.
You have no idea the weird statements I've been getting on social media. It's been creeping me out a little bit. Some of these guys are just a little too excited about this whole affair.
Yeah, let me make it perfectly clear. I don't want to see you as a brunette, a blonde, or a redhead.
Thank you.
Just want to put it out
The
there.
most normal guy in the room right now, without a doubt.
Yeah, not generally my MO, but I'll take it today.
So before the break, the Cooch asked you a stellar question. What's your favorite cigar that you make of all time?
So kind of a double answer.
I know.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
I would say the one that is the up until 3 months ago, my answer would have been Tempest Natural. Just because that put us on the map, it changed the dynamics of our company and how we do
remember
business.
your release party at the Hard Rock for that.
Yeah, our red carpet release
I remember
party.
that.
Yeah.
I was there.
And it just changed how people perceived us in the marketplace. So that was worldwide, it was a game changer. Today, I would say the fine and rare that is going to launch, that we're going to deliver in November, mid-November now, because it's an homage to my father.
So that's the fine and rare. Yeah,
meaning.
we wanted to talk about that
Yeah,
as
let's
well.
talk about fine and rare and its evolution and its process and what it represents and how it came to be.
Yeah, so at the very beginning stages, we were just down blending. I mean, we were just on another blending trip, and we started blending a cigar, and I think at that time it maybe had 5 tobaccos, and we said, okay, let's add something that was missing, something in the blend, and we went to 6. And we just kept adding. Normally in the blending process, you add something, you take something
something
away
out,
to
right.
create the balance. Almost jokingly, to almost say, Alan, stop, type thing, like, you got to stop. They just kept adding and not removing anything. And we got to this 10 tobacco blends, and I'm like, okay, I really like this. And they said, great, because we're never going to make it. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, we can't even ask the rollers to do this. And by the way, it will be a baseball bat, and because we were up in the conference room and we were just cutting the tobaccos as we needed.
Right.
And he's like, we can't have somebody not only prepare the tobacco and then cut every leaf custom, basically, for every cigar.
Right.
And I said, well, if that's what I want, that's really what we have to do. And they're like, we don't want to make it. And I said, all the more reason why we're probably going to do it.
Right.
And that was the
Don't tell
beginning
me
of
what I can't
that
do.
was the beginning of Fine and Rare. Rare because they were like, we're not making a lot of these.
Right.
And the truth is, there was such an interesting component of Fine and Rare because it had enough beef to it, had enough complexity to it, but it was still smooth. And the slower you smoked it, the more you got out of it. The more nuances that you were able to get out of this 10 tobacco.
That's an interesting statement. I never really heard somebody describe a cigar like that. That's the first time I may have heard that.
It's almost like,
The
if you're
slower you smoked it, the more you got out of it.
Yeah, because
I could see that.
It was just allowing itself to do what it was supposed to do. And some people, look, we can all smoke cigars, any cigar in a half hour, right? Anyone in the room.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It was the slower that I smoked it and the more I allowed it to just be what it was supposed to be, the more I got out of that cigar. And so that was the beginning of Fine and Rare. And then we do iterations every year. Sometimes we'll do a second release of one, but all the iterations or percentage changes as maybe a tobacco change. But we stuck with this 10 tobacco.
What's your
concept.
production run on those?
I think total for the year worldwide is 25,000 cigars. 2,500 boxes of 10.
That's not a lot.
No, and that's worldwide.
Yeah.
And at one point, you even did the Fine and Rare Blenders kit.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was
That's a couple
what,
years
3,
ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
What was that?
That basically was. I'll let Alan explain that. Why am I going to explain it? I have the man right here to explain it for us.
We actually
Why am I going to do that?
We took each of the 10 tobaccos that made up Fine and Rare that year, and we rolled little puritos of each tobacco and put them in small test tubes and added that as the blender's box. So you got to smoke all 10 of the tobaccos individually and then smoke the final product.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
Yeah. I think those boxes, they went for like $500 a box.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there were very few of those. That was a very limited production on that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, there was a retailer out in Texas that called me up and said, you need to explain why this is a $500 box, okay? He bought 5 of them. And he said, you need to explain to me why it's a $500 box.
That's
Why have I just spent $1,000 here on a product?
And the next day he called me and said, I don't need your explanation. I just sold 2 of them. I go, okay, whatever that was. Yeah.
So this new release is an homage to your father.
Yeah.
So what's special about this blend? Would it be something he would enjoy? Does it have something like that in it?
Yeah, there's a lot of little nuances to it. From the blend name has meaning, has my father's picture on it. We've never done anything like that before. And there's some life lessons that he taught me that are incorporated somehow or another into that cigar.
Okay.
I'll give you one of them.
Yeah,
So,
please.
That cigar is box pressed, right? But we do a soft or a semi press on it because my father always told me that business was a squared circle.
That's a great line.
He said, you have to buy it correctly, you have to sell it correctly, you have to bill it and collect your money, and you have to do it again. So that it's a continuous thing, but they each have their component, they each have their size. And so we made it this soft-sided box press. So in honor of him. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great statement. Squared circle.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's what we do every day, but they each have their importance.
Yeah. That's a great saying. I had to steal that.
So Alec and Bradley, obviously, I mean, we've had them on the show a couple times together. What is their role now in the business? So I know they've come in. They came out with was it Blind Faith? Was that their first project?
Yes.
And then
the Gatekeeper came out this year.
Right.
Which was their product. It was Alec and Bradley, the Gatekeeper.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you made my internet life like insane because my guys don't know how to name stuff anymore. right? Because they're naming stuff differently because it's not. It doesn't show up in search engines the same because it's not Alec Bradley. It's Alec and Bradley.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's literally named differently.
I had to have a 20-minute conversation.
We had like a full staff meeting. Like, why aren't these showing up right in the search? Oh, well, they're named differently. Who said they're named differently? Because I didn't know. And it's like, oh, all right. And then I had to see how everybody else was naming them. And it's like, all right, we two different names.
I was right. I won an argument.
Yes, yes.
It's very few
We
and
had
far
no
between.
idea. But yeah, because it's all everything.
No, I have a couple of them in my humidor. That
Right,
they brought us last time.
everything we listed sold by them is listed as
Right.
Alec Bradley so and so. Alec Brad. Then it's Alec and Bradley doesn't show up the same.
Huh.
Yeah, and they're working. They're actually working on something to separate themselves out just a little bit more to make that a little bit easier
Good for them.
everybody. Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you what. Out of when I sit in my office, I'm constantly bought brands, right? And everybody's always telling me, hey, smoke this. What do you think? And my response is, it doesn't matter what I think. I mean, if you want me to give you my personal opinion, but that doesn't sway whether I'm going to buy it or not. Because one of the projects you bought recently, that I literally bought it. I lit it halfway, but it was just more. It's never the cigar, right? I looked at it and I said, this is going to be a winner, right? I think people are going to like this.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm telling you, I posted it on social media the day, I think Alec gave me one. Alec had come by and he had given me one. I think I posted on social media that day. We hadn't even bought it in yet. And the cigar is doing phenomenally. It was the Project 40. It's one of those things that the second I saw it, I mean, you could talk to our operations guy, say, let's bring this in. And he looked at me like, because normally we're not that quick to bring stuff in because you just can't be that quick because there's so much new stuff out there all the time, You get inundated very fast. But yeah, I said, bring this in. I think this is going to do it. And it's been doing phenomenally. It's been doing very well.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of great response to that cigar nationwide.
What's the name, Project 40?
So, again, first of all, being in my head is not a good place, and it's not, and it's actually not a safe place. Okay?
Hello.
Yeah, that's exactly. Thank you for that. So, Project 40 is actually a study in happiness, and so
is this
it's a published study. It has nothing to do with us.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so we were working on this experimental series. So we kept saying, hey, we need to find some things that we want to do that are just experimental in its own way and conceptually as well. And so Project 40, what basically what it is that 50% of your happiness is genetic, 10% is environmental, and the other 40% you control. So Project 40 was about why things like food bring happiness, music, that they touch certain senses. And I said, for cigar smokers, cigars do that. They have this innate ability to take somebody and transform them and take them somewhere. People say my happy place, right? There. And so we said, okay, let's create a cigar that everybody would enjoy. It may not be everyone's favorite, but they'll enjoy it. And so that was the impetus behind wanting to come up with that blend and make it the price that we wanted to, so that people would pick it up and feel good about that. It was all about feeling good.
I think when cigars have like I call it their personalities, or their stereotypes, if you want to come up with a less better word for it, is when I looked at it, I said, this is a perfect everyday cigar for a lot of people out there, right? Because some cigars are created. If you're back there thinking I've just created this elaborate new thing and it's going to be an everyday cigar for people, you're kind of living on pipe dreaming, or you got a very small niche of people that this is going to be an everyday cigar for.
Correct.
And of course, I'm in retail, so everyday cigars are my favorite things because that's the best kind of cigar. Right. You give me something twice a year, I tell you keep it, right? You're not doing. Look, I have this struggle as a retailer, and I say it all the time, right? Jewish State is all uber guilty of this kind of bullshit, right? I'm not into disappointment business. I don't like to be in the disappointment business, right? If you're going to make something that all I'm going to do is ending up disappointing my patrons and my loyal customers, you're not doing me a service. And in response, you're making me do an in-service, to all my loyal customers. So I hate that, right? So when I see something like a Project 40, I look at it like, man, this could be like.
I haven't tried it. I saw it yesterday on the shelf.
I said this could be like a lot of people's everyday cigar. These are the projects I like, right? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm here to give people what they want, not tell them why they can't get what they want. I hate that. It drives me nuts. It's an inner pet peeve of mine, right? Yeah. So I loved that from the moment I saw it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we tried to do, we tried to package it to what made sense, the pricing to what made sense to the consumer, everything.
Yeah.
And so that everyday cigars is what we were looking for ultimately, because if it's about your happiness, there can't be one thing that makes you not want to buy it. That was
It
what we had to stay away
translated immediately to the consumer base.
Right.
It translated immediately.
And we're seeing that.
It didn't need an explanation. It didn't need to be. They gravitated toward it and they liked it. It was a good cigar.
And the Project 40 in itself is a cool concept, right? And that is there's an actual formula to
I
your
know
happiness.
you're gonna make me now go read it now because now.
No,
I'm
I
curious.
mean you can
didn't
find
know.
it.
Yeah,
But there's an actual formula to happiness.
I feel
but-
like I've heard this before, like something on TV or whatever, some documentary talking about this project. So
I wanna, yeah,
now
I
it
wanna-
kind of makes.
Yeah, now I want to go look it up.
Now
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm really gonna have to go to the
You need
impetus
it.
of this. Thank you. Very much.
You need it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. What,
Yeah, you need it.
Anyway, so
Me too.
Alan, we have to wind down. Do you have any? Are you going to be anywhere? You got any travels coming up in the near future? Any place you're going to be? Where any of our little loyalists can find you?
Wait, hold on. I want to ask one other question
I don't know
before
why
we
he's
get to
winding
the
you
end.
down even.
Yeah, I mean, because
He's like in a hurry. I
got
got a rush. You got a hot date.
No, I mean, like, do you
It's
want me?
10 minutes before the normal show ends, and I already asked the gentleman if he had to rush out of here, and you're winding the show down.
He's got places to be.
We still haven't talked
I think
about.
he wants to get rid of me. I showered this morning. I want you to know that.
We still haven't talked about
Black
FDA,
market.
Yeah, let's go.
market.
Oh,
I want to
man.
talk about black market.
What are you in a rush
Oh
for?
no, I didn't know.
You got
Okay.
somewhere to be?
No, I got nowhere to be.
All right, then relax. He's thinking about whiskey. He wants whiskey. That's what you whiskey
get
his
it.
brain
You
up.
got me on the whiskey,
I know.
okay? Come
You
on.
whiskeyed his brain up. So what's it? Go ahead, shoot your question.
So black market's a popular line for you. I know a lot of people love it. I happen to really like the Filthy Hooligan, and I read in my research that there was a little bit of an issue with the Filthy Hooligan. Do you talk about that at all? Do you like?
I will.
Some people did. Okay, go ahead.
Well, the issue wasn't mine.
No, that's right. It was not yours.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can lead me there, and I may not get that right, or you can actually ask me what you want to ask, and I'll
Exactly.
answer.
Well,
He always does that. He like bounces around questions.
Well,
about
'cause I
whiskey.
like to
I've
make it a
called
more
him-
open-ended
I've
question.
called him a wussy on the air so many times.
Yeah.
Just ask what you want to
Well,
ask.
so was it the Royal Order of the Hibernians complained that it was what was it, degrading to,
thought it was
to
Jewish
Irish?
state.
So they're both. But,
Okay, I thought Drew
we
Estate
can do
was
one
the
and
issue.
one if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. I
even
didn't know the Drew
I
Estate
didn't
side.
even hear this one.
Okay.
Yeah, the Royal Hibernians. What?
Yeah, because they said it was what are they? I don't remember what the term
Because
is.
the
The
word
Anti-Defamation League of Irish folks were saying that it was bad for St. Patrick's Day or something.
Really?
That it was
Yes.
like
I didn't even hear that.
They
one.
called me a racist.
Right,
Really?
okay.
Wow. Oh, listen. That's a normal thing now. That's
Yeah.
like an in thing now. To
They
be
were,
called
yeah,
racist.
they were a little, they were a little ahead of the game. This was like 4 years ago. Yeah.
What's the matter?
They didn't like the name Filthy Hooligan, and they thought it was an anti-Irish thing. And I said, well, in all honesty, I shouldn't be telling you this, but hooligan is not an Irish term.
Right.
It's an English term.
Right.
And then they, they said we're going to.
Wait. So what? Okay.
Yeah.
We got to educate me.
Okay.
I'm way more familiar with the other one.
Okay.
Who is this group?
It's the largest group representing Irish Americans.
Is this an international group or a local?
It's not local. I mean, it's
American?
nationwide. Yeah.
It's nationwide.
Yeah.
So they're representing Irish, and they contacted you.
Yes.
Because they felt that Filthy Hooligan represented Irish people.
It was one guy. He was a sanitation worker at a Far Rockaway, New York.
Of course.
How I know right where it is.
Yeah.
A
And
sanitation
he
worker
called
at a Far Walk, New York.
Far Rockaway.
Far Rockaway.
Far
Far
Rockaway,
Rockaway
Yeah.
contacted you.
Contacted all the internet catalog companies first, and then they
Oh,
were
no.
like, "Hey, we're getting all these calls." They said, "No, you're getting one call." And they're like, "Actually, yeah, we are only getting one call."
We're getting letters,
And
but it's
then-
all the same
and then
exact letter.
He contacted the Association of the Hibernians, and then they wrote.
Who are they?
Is it the Royal Ancient
I
Society of Hibernians?
Yeah.
It is. It is basically a group.
It's like the Knights of Columbus for
yes,
the Irish side.
Yeah, and very respected and wonderful people, I have to tell you.
So they reached out to you?
They did. The head, the guy who runs the anti-defamation side.
And they didn't know that the term hooligan is not Irish?
Well, I don't know. And so there were a couple of things that came out of it. And so he sent me an email, and then I invited him to call me. And we spoke for a while. And so he
Did he have a big
he said to me,
Bruges accent?
he said to me, "I'm offended," is what he said to me. You're what you did calling it Filthy Hooligan is against the Irish, and you launched it around St. Patrick's Day, And I said, well, part of it is because we're using a green wrapper.
Right.
And the truth is we're almost doing it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. But he said, I'm offended. And I said, well, that's your choice. And
Good for you.
he said, what do you mean? I said, if a Jewish guy tells a Jewish joke to another Jewish guy, he laughs. If a non-Jew tells the same joke, he's offended. I said, it's the same fucking joke.
Right?
That is absolutely
You
true.
choose.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what I said. It's the same fucking joke. You decide.
Yeah.
And he said, why didn't you call it the filthy kike? Is what he said
Wow.
to me.
Okay.
And I said I didn't think it was marketable.
Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
And then we spoke for a while, and he goes, you're not a bad guy. I said, you're not a bad guy either. So why don't we start over? I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to come out with this again next year. I will give you 6 months to come up with any suggestions that you would like me to look at in making. So if you wanted me to change some artwork or change some things, but I'm 6 months from, I'm telling you, it will come out again.
Right.
And they never reached back out to me. I actually reached back out to them and said, I have 30 days if you want me to make changes, and they never did. And that was it. Matter of fact, we have sponsored Irish boxing groups at Boston.
Come on, man. You listen,
These guys.
There's always going to be somebody offended at something.
And I bet they love the cigar. I'm actually a fan of that cigar. That's one of my cigars. That I just, for some reason, I just really have
But
taken
Filthy
to it.
Hooligan wasn't the original name.
Okay. What a segue. You are a pro.
He's good.
You are a pro. Yeah.
It was Dirty Hooligan.
It was Dirty Hooligan.
Yes. And you'd already made it and released it, and it was out in the market as Dirty Hooligan.
Yeah, we pre-sold every bit of it. Yeah.
And then you got a call.
I got a text.
A text from John himself.
From John.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they had Dirty Rat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Which-
did not.
So, what did
In
the
my
actual
opinion, it's
text
still
from
a little
Jonathan
bit-
say?
Well, see, they have a close relationship, which
Yes.
always makes this a little bit weirder because I really don't see the relevance. You don't own the word dirty because it came out
That's
of a cigar,
correct.
but,
Yeah.
right? But you ended up respecting his wishes.
Well, yeah, I did it my way.
Did it get a little heated before? Because I'm just curious.
I just
'Cause
want to know,
how
what did he
John-
say? He's like,
I know
dude.
how John could get,
Okay,
too.
right.
So I'm curious how that. And, it's worse when you're friends and then you got to have a heated argument. A little sometimes, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So.
Dude, what are you doing? I got the dirty. Come on,
No,
man. What are you
no,
doing?
that's not how it goes.
Yeah. No.
John comes out.
No, that would be
blazing.
nice. That would be. Yeah.
That
would have been nice.
That would have been Marvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan, you know we got the cigar.
Yeah,
Why you don't go in?
And let's have lunch.
Yeah.
Let's just, and we'll have lunch. What are we eating today?
That's
Yeah, the
hilarious.
FDA is coming down tomorrow, but I think pizza, and I'm trying to cut back. I'm going to have a salad.
God, that's funny.
Yes.
I wish he was wrong.
So how?
Yeah, so John sent me a text on a Friday night. And basically,
Oh, that couldn't have sat
Like,
well.
Late Friday
tried
night?
to. Excuse me?
Late Friday night, mid Friday night.
It was probably around.
I don't know. I thought
What
it was
is he, me?
interesting. Yeah.
Well, it was probably around, let's say, 7 p.m. So it
Okay,
was
yeah,
after
right.
working hours,
Right.
right?
Yeah, that's
he
what I
sent me
meant
this
by that.
text.
Your weekend is officially started.
Correct.
That's what I was going at.
Whiskey imbibement has begun.
Yes, and so I basically made it very difficult for him. I said, "You're out of your mind. I love you as a brother, but this is not a trademark issue. You don't own Dirty.
Yeah.
We've already sold it out. What is it you'd like me to do? Because either way, I'm not doing it. But what is it that you'd like me to do?"
I love
And
it.
then he went off.
Oh, of course.
Okay, he went off.
Nuclear.
Right. So then I replied back, "I think you're out of line." And then he went off again, and then I went dark. Okay. So then.
Then he came back nice.
No.
Oh.
Then Sunday came.
Oh, so there's a whole day.
So now that's Friday night. So I let Saturday go. I let Sunday go. And Monday, I came into the office and said, "Guys, it's already sold. Just change it to Filthy." I said, it didn't really matter to me. And he was so upset that.
I actually like the name Filthy Hooligan. But
Yeah,
I do too.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I do too. It sounds more proper.
He did you a favor.
So I called him on Monday, and I said, "Hey man, we're gonna change it from Dirty to Filthy." And he's like, "You ruined my whole fucking weekend." And me and Mariolos, I think, had to cancel plans, and we stayed home, and I couldn't go out, and I was gonna throw up, and I didn't feel good. And I said to him, "I had the greatest weekend."
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
now, months go by, or whatever year goes by, and we come out with Nika Puto, right? And less than 3
Nico
months later,
Rusta.
he comes out with Nika Rusta.
I hope you texted him on a Friday night.
Oh, I called him.
Even
I didn't
better.
text. I called. And I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing, man?" said, I did you a favor. You don't even have a decency to make a call to me. And, talking about confusion in the marketplace, and I just came out with this. And he started to get indignant, and I'm like, hear your own words. Before you say something to me, just hear your own words. And he's like, yeah, I screwed that up.
Didn't change your name, though.
I didn't ask him to.
You're a good man, Charlie.
I don't
You're
care
a
about
good
that.
man,
And
Charlie
he's
Brown.
a good man.
Well, listen, this is a common thing that people, especially the consumers, never really kind of grasp. And I see it all the time because I sit and I meet with everybody. I'll meet with John, I'll meet with Alan, I'll meet with Pete, I'll meet with all these guys. These guys sometimes are really completely unaware of what somebody else is doing. It's
That's
not
correct.
on their radar.
Correct.
Yeah.
And should it be half the time because they're working on their craft.
Correct.
So a lot of these times, these things happen very accidentally, right? It's not always. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I know it's definitely some shit is strategically done. Like, yeah, we're gonna fuck with that company or that
Absolutely,
person.
yeah.
It happens.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, a lot of times it's just, hey, man, things got crossed. I remember Steve Saka was, and he's got a great relationship with the Leone family, and he was really didn't realize that when they did the whole underground thing, that basically it was kind of almost La Aurora-ish with the Lions and whatever, and actually had a conversation post-production saying, hey, look, I didn't mean this. Wasn't even thinking about it. And they had a conversation. And look, for the most part in these situations, cooler heads always prevail. There's always a little bit of common ground. Sometimes just ego gets in the way and guys take it
If you're friendly,
too personal, right?
If you're friendly, things have a tendency to be able to work themselves out.
But that's funny. So, you didn't know it was Dirty Hooligan.
I had no idea.
Dirty Hooligan.
Yeah.
Now, did the product ever land with that name, or was it just sold with that name?
I
think it was sold with that
It was
name,
sold with the name.
But when it arrived, it was Filthy Hooligan.
Yeah.
So Dirty Hooligan boxes were never made.
The cigars were made, and we were in the midst of doing the boxes.
And just redid it.
And I think they shaved the
I
top
would have loved to have a couple dirty Hooligan boxes.
That's a collector's item, right?
Yeah,
there.
it really probably have some of the original, maybe samples somewhere in the office.
That might be another project. I'm gonna revitalize all these brands.
Oh boy,
that's funny.
We're making this man a lot of money
But
on
now
this show.
the Filthy Hooligan is out again now, right?
It's
coming out. Coming out. Okay.
Yeah, it's already pre-sold.
Okay.
So it's just about delivering.
Is Coop calling in today?
He can.
Oh, okay.
He's standby, but we thought we might be busy. So
You can do whatever you want. I'm good with it. Or you want to go straight into do we want you have more time to talk about stuff?
Yeah, man. If it's important to you, I'm ready to
Well,
go.
I mean, listen. I think it's important to our listeners.
Okay, great.
I think our listeners are very interested in. I mean, look, you have your whole company has a certain image and the way it's built, and you've pretty much been true. I mean, live true, right?
Yeah.
You've pretty much been true to that form, right?
Yeah.
How does Lars Teton get thrown into this mix?
Oh, we didn't even get to that. That's right.
I'll produce your show. Don't worry.
Thank you. Well, it's in there.
Is that door locked? Am I locked in right now?
No, you're not. I mean, look.
Now you are.
That's funny.
And you did hear that, right?
I did hear that.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was good.
Good job, Adam.
But it really, it's very antithetical of an Alec Bradley organization. Not that I think it's not a very interesting move, because historically it's significant that brand has been, especially in our industry and guys who've been in it for so long. How did that happen? Because from what I understand is, I guess a lot of people are courting him. And listen, I speak very highly of you because you are a friend, and I love the way you are and how you're philosophical. And listen, I've had times in my career where I've had situations and I've come to you, and you've always been extremely understanding. And I love your boys. I think it's great that you have that whole family thing going on, because I'm a very family-oriented person, right? But this is like a complete twist, right? How does? Well, he says he had a lot of quarters, and that he felt very good when he talked to you and thought that this would be the move he made. How did this come about?
Well, I mean, he did have a lot of people courting him, which I didn't know. But the one cool thing about Lars is that while we were going through the process, he actually never told me anyone else who was courting him. He never mentioned a name.
Didn't try to make it right.
And so the integrity of not telling me meant something to me. Had he told me, I would have maybe rethought this a little bit, right? So, I mean, this took a year, by the way. From the time we started talking about it to the time we finished the contracts was a year. It's a long time for two people who wanted to do something together.
Because you probably had put a lot of thought into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had to structure the deal properly, and because of the FDA thing, I had to make sure I wasn't overextended in terms of times and all, time and all that stuff.
All these brands are predicate.
Yeah, they're all predicate.
They're all creating an entire
But you
new
never know
company.
with flavorings or whatever what goes on. So yeah, and so we had to structure everything that way. But ultimately, it came down that I met Lars many years ago, and I was always a fan of his creativity. I think he is the most creative person within our space, without question. And so I was always attracted to the fact that, he's doing skateboards that are collectible. He does paintings that were collectible. His leather goods are as good a quality as any designer in the market. So there were all these things that attracted me to him and his creativity. And I just called him and said, I'd like to, I don't know what I want to do, but I'd like to do something. We don't have that type of creativity within our organization. I can never try and be that because it's not me. But I think we could do something together. You need a business partner, and I need a creative mind.
Right.
And that's how it started to come together. I got a large package for the money, though. I mean, there's a lot that goes along with Lars.
He's definitely an eccentric and definitely beats to a different drum, right? Yeah,
his own.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, so wait, there's a question. He was just on the show, a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't here, unfortunately. I would have loved to meet him because I've heard stories about him.
Yeah.
But so when you say you got a large package, is the company that you formed just the cigars, or is it inclusive of other parts of his brand, or is it?
It is the cigars, but we just started finding a way to incorporate the spices that he does.
Okay.
Which everyone who tries the spices,
I love them.
Say it's like the most incredible
very,
spice.
very, very good.
Have you've had them? Because I've seen.
He gave us a bunch.
Okay, yeah, because
he left some for you.
He did. Thanks.
Yeah, I can get you more.
He didn't leave you shit.
But yeah, so I mean, now we're incorporating the spices, and his leather goods are through the roof.
The leather products he had with him when I met him those 2 days.
Yeah.
Does he do leather cigar products too, or he? I know he does handbags and satchels and things like that. Yeah. It's fascinating the things that he is into.
He's a little bit larger than life, right? I mean, his story is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
No, he is.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I'll give you an example. He said to me, "Yeah, I'm a trained chef, and so I happen to be up in the Northeast where he lives."
I've heard this from about 10 different people too.
Oh yeah. So he said to me, "Hey, come over to the house
He's
on your way back."
Self-proclaimed world-class chef, right? Yeah. So of course, anybody who self-proclaims himself as something, you're like,
right.
Oh, all right, dude.
Ooh, that's a recipe for trouble.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But then what you're about to say, I've heard this from at least 10 different people, right?
Yeah.
So you went there and he cooked for you.
Yeah, and like I've never seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, let me put it to you this way: the fillet was he had the whole backstrap that he started cooking like 8 hours early. Okay, so he literally, like, if he wanted to, he could have just gone like that with the fillet, and I mean, he cut me. It was like a piece this big, and you didn't need a knife.
Wow.
You just didn't need a knife.
I've heard that from 10 different people. Like, it was one of the most amazing.
Even when he did the desserts, I mean, like, he had these squared plates, and he put this round dessert that he had made, and then he's taking like the hazelnut cream and the pistachio cream at the bottom, decorating every. I mean, the guy, it was incredible, truly. So that was the beginning, and then, he tells me how he can rip on the guitar, and
you look at him, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Dude.
So
all right, dude. Sure. But I've seen him.
I'm like, I'm here. Let me see you play.
Yeah.
And so he takes his keyboard thing out, and all of a sudden he gets the music going that he created back underneath,
right.
and he pulls out the guitar and just starts shredding on the guitar. I mean, I'm like,
yeah.
I actually zoomed in to see if it was his fingers. Like, that worked? Yeah. That's all true. But I mean, I have the videos. I mean, the guy was incredible. So he kept just dispelling all these things that you're not sure 100%.
Because it's a little larger than life, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's attracted. I mean, wherever he goes, he draws people.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I first heard this, I said there's going to be a lot of nostalgic buying going on here, right? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know if you've listened to the show, but when I first kind of got into doing cigars as something to make money on and in a living, like in a business sense, and I was servicing outside accounts back in Chicago 20 plus years ago, like, it was like the hottest brand in Chicago.
Was it really?
Are you kidding me? I couldn't get enough of Lars Teton boxes.
Huh.
And they were buying him, like, the wholesaler I was buying him from at the time, he would call me, he's like, I just got like 200 boxes. And I would get there and I'd be lucky there was like 8 left I could take. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was very nostalgic when I heard of it. But then on the same note, I remember saying, that I think maybe you're lucky if you can get one person a day to walk through my retail front door that's going to know what this brand is.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Yeah. So it's a story that's going to have to get told, right, and retold, and that's a big project, and I think you've already started. I mean, the brand was released at the trade show this year.
I mean, he's
and
out
you guys
there.
are already making packaging changes.
Yeah, because there are certain things that we learn from the tobacco. If we listen to the tobacconists,
Well, I've always said that
They tell us everything.
any smart manufacturer should have a full-time retailer or retired retailer
As a consultant.
Yeah.
or as an employee.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously, how no one really has figured that out by now is mind-boggling to me, right? Because there's a perspective you just aren't really privy to.
That's correct.
And it's just not natural for you to think of.
Simple stuff like stacking boxes or like
Just how sometimes I'll sit across and like, man, you're like completely off the mark. How did you think of that like that? And then I will have a conversation like, yeah, I guess we really were off the mark, right? Because to me, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Because I sit in this room and I'm privy to it. I'm sitting in these stores. I talk with my team, but manufacturers aren't privy to it. Now, was this packaging that was originally released with, or that old packaging he had, or was that
No.
packaging that you had made and already pivoted?
Well, first of all, he had cool packaging, but Lars had no real standards in terms of packaging. Which
No,
means
it's hodgepodge.
If something fit 32 cigars, that's what it had, and he had metal, and he had metal packaging, and wood packaging, and cardboard packaging, and
Plastic tops.
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh,
individual cigars in the bags, and with the foam in there. He had a million different things. So we tried to somewhat standardize it and use some artwork, and we gave Lars a lot of the creative leeway to do what he wanted. And I always put myself in the point of the consumer. What does the consumer see? And that's how we try and create everything from Alec Bradley's side. How does it look from 20 feet away and 10 feet away and 5 feet away? And then when they're in front of the box, what does that look like? And so that's how we conduct ourselves. But Lars was all new. And so we gave him the opportunity to create what he wanted. We got that out to market, and then we asked the tobacconist, hey, where are the shortcomings? Where are the pitfalls on some of the packaging and things? Well, there's some confusion to the consumer and those type of things. So we're going to make some box color changes. We're going to make some artwork changes. We're going to have a little more description on the boxes and those type of things to make it easier for the tobacconist and easier for the consumer to know what they're buying. That's it. But the cigars themselves are not changing. Cigars are great. I got to be honest with you.
I'll be honest with you, it's one of the things when I looked at them, I look at the packaging, I'm not sure what this cigar is. Yeah. Very hard for me to find it. I need like a roadmap to find where the name was.
Correct.
On the packaging.
Right. So I have to verbally beat Lars up sometimes. and we're like, hey, make a packaging change, and we want you to do this. And then he sends something. I'm like, that's exactly what I don't need. So I still have to let him be creative and still me be the business guy.
So is the problem with any artist,
Yeah,
right?
it's correct.
A lot of people. There's always that problem, not just like in restaurants, right? Sometimes the chef's so passionate about cooking, right, doesn't know how to run the front of the house, right?
Correct.
I mean, it's a common thing.
Correct.
Yeah. I see it all the time. I've had a lot of people in my life who have been very talented people, but didn't know how to make it a business out of it.
Of course.
But yeah, he's made. Don't get me wrong. He's made a successful, uber successful business of it. But there was a reason why all of a sudden, where it went from the hottest brand, where I wasn't even sure he was making cigars for the last decade. I didn't even know he was still selling cigars for the last decade until he informed me of it 2 weeks ago. So I mean, there was a reason why that had happened. So we smoked a few of them, smoked a lot of them. Some I thought were really, really interesting and amazing and enjoyable. Like I would definitely say I'm going to smoke them again. Some are not my cup of tea, but. I get a kick out of giving everyone the pepper one, though.
Yeah, the sweet and spicy.
Oh, I love that.
Did you give me that one? Is that what you gave me a couple? Oh, you did.
From one yesterday.
Oh, that would have been great.
He gave me a couple of them.
No.
That would have been hysterical.
No.
I was already smoking a smoking, but you should have
tried one.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Oh,
I didn't see the video of Labby trying it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it on video the next KMA pre-show meeting we
have.
have.
I'll try it.
And by the way, it's good. It's a good
If you get past it, it is. I didn't try it yet, but I eat.
I love spicy food.
I love spicy
Oh, you're gonna love this.
When I get my Thai food, I tell them native Thai. Yeah, native Thai, as hot as you would eat it.
I don't think the cigar will be an issue for you.
It might not be, but I'm sure I'll give it a try.
But the blend underneath it is good.
Okay.
And the experience with the sweet and spiciness is neat.
Yeah, you know what? We'll try it together next week's show.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do a little live video, see how it is.
I can't wait.
All right, good. Anything we missed that you want to chat about? Do you want to get into any legal banter? You're sick of it, right?
No, I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, it's up to you. Well, let me ask you something. Here's my only. What's your really tone at night when you lay your head down in bed? Because it really is kind of a clusterfuck out there, and what's going on. Are you worried about your future business for your kids? I mean, do you feel your position? I mean, this everybody I talk to has a different perspective, right? I mean, you talk to some people and they think, oh, my business is over in May. There's no way I'm going to be able to, register all these brands and whatever. I mean, how is it? What's going on through Alan Rubin's mind when you're lying your head at night?
Well, as you know, I don't go to sleep till 3 or 4, right? So lying my head on the pillow is not the time for me to think, because that's like a 3-hour window in my entire.
I'm the same way. When I lie down, I'm out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm not a good sleeper. So.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not. So
I'm solid.
Yeah, so I can't get to the pillow, and then once I'm there, I have to really find a way to meditate my way to sleep.
Really?
So, yeah.
No, I go.
That's me. I have such a hard time.
I'm out like a coma.
Oh, yeah. Can you sleep on a plane?
Oh, hold on. That's how I fly.
What do you mean?
You sleep on the plane the whole time.
Will you explain to them? I think you know my process.
Okay, basically, this man sits seat 1A in first class, and that's the only place he sits, and then gets on first right away, and then before the plane takes off.
No, you're not done. That's not my process. What I do flying, and this is when I fly out the first flight in the morning. Oh, it's 6:15, whatever it is. I don't go to bed. I start packing at 2 or 3 in the morning. Whatever. I am asleep before that plane takes off the runway.
No way.
Are you kidding me? Pull an all-nighter. Don't sleep all night. You get to the airport. You check in. I sit in the seat. I sit in the first row next to the window. I nudge my head into the little window hole.
I like that. That's how I sit. Yeah.
I sit in first class. I seldom ever get a drink, and I seldom ever eat a meal because I'm out like a coma.
Yeah.
And typically, did I ever tell you the time where I thought we were going to die?
That's when we went to Paul's
wedding.
This
is a true story. Was that Paul's wedding?
That was Paul's wedding.
I freaked out.
Oh, coming to my wedding?
Yeah.
I remember.
I had slept so soundly. I almost can't remember, but I remember the trauma because I'm going to get goosebumps thinking about. Look. Do you see this?
Yeah.
I didn't know that we were landing. I had been out, right, and I literally just woke up and the plane goes and everybody. It was a really bad landing. Everybody grabbed their thing and whatever. And I literally started saying the sign of the cross. This plane is going down. And it took me 5 or 6 seconds before I realized, we just landed. Yeah.
Okay, so we couldn't be more opposite.
Oh, yeah, I'm out like a light.
One day, ask Eric Espinoza the day that he needed to take some medication to get on a plane. He didn't like to fly. And he took it and then fell asleep at Miami International, and then the plane was delayed.
No.
Yeah.
I woke up
and he woke up and he was like, "This is the greatest flight I've ever had."
Oh my God!
And had not left the runway yet.
We'll see him. We'll see him
and then
next weekend.
called me from the plane and said, "What do I do?
Wow.
I have one medication left, and I still have 2 flights."
Wow. That's classic.
Yeah, you can ask about
That's so ironic. A cigar guy. Doesn't like to fly.
He's okay now, but this was in the early days.
I don't like to fly, but I like.
I'm just so used to it now.
I just like closing my eyes and opening up, and we're there.
Yeah, it must be nice.
It's great.
I know not from that world.
I was flying.
It's either that or I have to start drinking and get drunk.
Okay,
which I've done a couple times.
I flew from London to Vegas. Okay.
Wow.
So basically, I said,
"That's brutal.
I'm going to have dinner, and then do not wake me until we get to half hour before we're landing." Okay. I had some sleep medication with me.
Oh yeah.
Took 2 of those and 4 cognacs, and looked at the ceiling the entire flight.
Couldn't go to bed.
0.
That's insane. Is it just
0.
a fear?
Then left my headset in the little thing, walked out, was dazed. So I had dinner, landed in Vegas, showered, and had dinner.
Is it just that is it any fear of flying, or you just don't sleep that well?
No, 0 fear of flying.
So you just don't sleep that well?
Yeah, I just don't.
Oh, no, I sleep really easy. I put my head down.
Yeah,
I'm gone.
I think I've fallen asleep out of the... I mean, we fly a lot because I'm from Long Island, so we fly up almost every month to Long Island. But it's only 2 hours and 45 minutes. But I think I've slept maybe 2 times in my life on a plane, and one of them was a flight to Europe, a 9-hour flight to Italy.
Try it. Pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, I could do that.
Try it. Take your first flight in the morning, pull on. You start packing 2, 3 in the morning. By the time you're done, you're ready to go to the airport. get on that plane, I'm out.
But if you're flying for business, the second you get there, you're usually
you're
ready to
done.
go to a meeting or something.
Doesn't
then
matter.
you're-
We only need 2-3 hours of sleep, guys. But
Oh,
by the
that's
time
true.
I'm landed, I'm refreshed. I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I had 2 out coming out of Boston because our flights changed like 4 or 5 times or whatever. I set my alarm for 5:30 in the morning. I got up at 4:30, showered. I went to sleep at 2:30, and then landed, and then went to work.
Did you pull all-nighters as a kid?
You mean when I was in college?
Just I regularly
in my early 20s.
I started like in like 10, 12 years old. Like I would get like a school project. My parents would go to bed, and I wouldn't know how to finish, and I would work through the night. And then
we did it for fun.
Even in middle school,
as like teenagers.
Even in middle school, like I wouldn't like pay attention like all week, 2 weeks. Then we'd have a test, and I would literally like, all right, Mom, I'm gonna go to bed in a few hours, and then I would sit there and read like 4 chapters.
Do
that
all the work
evening.
that you didn't do.
Yeah, I was prone to pulling all-nighters my whole life. In fact, when I was starting my businesses alone, man, I would pull like work through the night 2 to 3 nights a week. My wife often says, like, I don't know anybody who does what he does without being, like, on serious hardcore drugs.
Right, yeah.
Right? But I was always prone to it.
Yeah, I'm more of a night person, so...
I love working at night. Nobody bothers me. Phone doesn't ring. I mean, I can focus, do my stuff.
At 10 p.m., I'm ready to go.
Right?
Like,
it's the best.
Let's go. Yeah.
That used to be me until the baby.
The kids. That was me. The kids is what...
Yeah.
And not even the baby, because there's only so much you can do with a baby. But when they start becoming interactive, and then it becomes more, and then it gets real bad when they start saying... Are you coming home after work?
Right.
Oh, yeah, forget about it.
Everything. You have to go there, really?
Yeah. Everything changes.
You just dropped me right into a depression.
Everything changes.
But I appreciate that.
Sorry.
I'd rather have talked about FDA.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, wow, what an awesome show, man. Really,
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
thanks for
coming.
coming
This
in.
was stellar. 2.5 hours went like it was nothing.
Really?
Literally.
I had no clue.
Yeah, it's a good show. Who we got next week? Anybody?
We're going to be at Lazona Palooza in Hialeah Garden.
Is that an ice cream store in Hialeah?
What is that, right? Right?
Yeah.
This is post the drag. We're leaving it to go.
Well,
what?
that's if
What
that's
we
if
leaving at
Eric
7
Jr.
in the morning?
Yeah, we have to be there probably Eric Jr. is supposed to open up the office for us at 8, but we'll see if that
So
happens.
I got the drag event all night, and then we're leaving like at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Down there, or quarter to 7.
I'm probably
6:30?
already not going to sleep. Yeah.
You're driving, right, Adam?
You're driving. You're always the designated driver.
I know.
How are you not going to sleep?
Because it's like I'm probably going to get out of the drag event at like 3.
Well, maybe you shouldn't not go to the drag event.
Okay. Wait, are you telling me I don't have to work the drag event?
No. If you're going to go home and rest to drive us at 6:30 in the morning, yeah, I'd prefer you not drink and hang out in the shop.
So here's how you win this.
But if you go home and drink, if you are hungover the next morning, you're going to get docked like a week's pay.
Okay, here's how you do it. Do not work the drag event, but show up personally.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the drag event.
He doesn't enjoy shit. I don't enjoy it.
He doesn't understand that.
He doesn't get emotion. This guy has no emotion.
Yeah,
He's not going to enjoy it.
There's no enjoying.
No.
Showing up and enjoying.
No,
I may show up to enjoy it for like 45 minutes
We got
and then go home.
early, and you're going to be our designated driver.
Yeah.
I'd really like you go home and rest. And
I'm gonna go home at like 10. I'll go
That's
home at 10.
fine,
Like,
as long as you're not drinking.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't sit at the bar and imbibe all night and then think I'm going to go home at 10.
I gotta supervise everybody all night.
You don't. We'll get by.
He doesn't drink when he works.
What? What?
I don't think he drinks when he's actually working because he always takes his once he's ready to go. Once he's ready to have a drink, he takes his shirt off.
Not events. He'll be at that bar imbibing, and then when the work is settled down, the event's over, like at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah, then he'll be slamming at the bar.
Then he goes home. It's like, okay, it's time to go home. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum.
We forgot another segment.
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
I'm going to tell you, this show was so much like just bullshitting in an office talking. I forgot, like, we have segments we got to do and stuff. I'm like just thinking we're bullshitting talking here.
We didn't even talk about our caption contest photo.
Which I love, by the way. I'm the one who said Paul had to do this caption contest. He had to ask his wife's permission, but
It's me and my
we
son.
got clearance. Look how great that
in our
caption
Halloween
contest is.
in our Halloween costumes in Disney World for Mickey's
Isn't that
Not So
a great
Scary
picture?
Halloween Party.
Yeah, check it out. So anyways, this week's Insane Asylum brought to you by the fine folks at CLE and Asylum Cigars.
Yes.
This week's inductee probably needs to reevaluate their life choices. After a funeral in Germany, a group of mourners went to a restaurant after the burial of their loved one for simple coffee and cake, a very German tradition. After eating the cake, the 13 people reported experiencing nausea, and dizziness and needed medical attention.
Uh-huh.
When questioning the restaurateur, Police said that the person in charge claimed that she didn't bake the cake herself. She asked her 18-year-old daughter to bake the cake for the event.
Sounds like a logical thing to do.
Yeah, already getting shady, but...
The mother mistakenly gave the wrong cake to the mourners. Apparently, her daughter had made a special cake. She instead took the hash cake that was made for her friends and gave it to the unsuspecting mourners.
A
True
very
story.
different kind of party that cake was made for.
Needless to say, the funeral did end on a high note.
Aha!
Get it?
Yes, an involuntary high note, but a high note indeed. The teen is actually under investigation, police said, and stated that the incident happened in August, but was not made public until now out of respect for the mourners. I guess they finally came down. Congratulations, Heishi Baker. You are this week's inductee into the Cigar Insane Asylum, brought to you by CLE and Asylum Cigars.
Once again, kids, don't eat cake you get from strangers.
Right? Holy cow.
Seriously, you can't eat anything. It's terrifying.
I don't. Definitely not. So, Alan, obviously you're a road warrior. Where are you going next? What's on the schedule?
Anything on the horizon?
Yeah.
No, not work-wise.
Good for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna,
Holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Take the next 2 months off.
Yeah, I mean, well,
not traveling. There's a difference. Yeah.
I mean, we're
Travel
actually starting Monday. We start talking about what the projects are for next year, and who's handling what responsibilities, who's going to be going down on which trips to do to the blending trips. Just it's going to be all in preparation coming into the end of the year. So now's a good time for me to be here. And then if Colorado's getting a bunch of snow right now, so maybe I sneak out for a week in December.
Oh,
nice. Okay. Good for you.
Or two.
Yeah. Like if I don't have, let me say this. Until they tell me I have to come back, I consider staying.
Dad, we need you.
I do. I have to tell you one quick story. There was some stuff that I had asked our marketing department to do, and so they put me on this string, and they're like, "Yeah, I love it, love it, love it." Alan, what do you think? And I'm like, I couldn't hate it more. It was like, okay, what's wrong? And I listed 5 or 6 things that's wrong, and then they said, okay, we'll make change. I didn't tell them what to change, how to change it. Just these are the things that I thought were not proper. And I came back, and they did a great job. And I'm like, as long as you screw up the first time, you're keeping me in business. You're like, you're giving me a job to do. So I'm good with it. But what's really cool is a lot of the young guys in our organization are really learning. I mean, they're really embracing it, the culture of what we're doing, and they're aggressively always trying to make things better. So that gives me the chance to be a bad golfer and do some skiing.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. All right, next week we'll be live from Lazona Palooza. You have any final words there, Mr.
No,
Oscar?
man. Looking forward to it. Eric just texted me. He goes, "Can you come dressed like a girl?" I told him, "Fuck no."
Can you come dressed as a girl?
I really hope you're still not wearing makeup tomorrow.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if he didn't have time to go home and change, and we showed up at That would be awesome.
Can you imagine?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be like you and Disney.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
close us out. Thank you, Alan.
All
Good
right.
show.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alan Rubin,
Thanks,
for being
guys.
here from Alec Bradley Cigars. Make sure you check out all his great products. Next week from Lazona Palooza. Until then, and as always, keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Cigar Fairy's making rounds.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Keep it lit with KMA Talk Radio.